Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Valence League. I am Sam, initialized Hapgood, your play-by-play for this evening, and joined tonight not by my usual companion in casting Nightmare, but instead by Demo. How are you doing this evening, man?
I'm not too bad. Hopefully I can make a good enough replacement for tonight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's series.
I'm looking forward to it.
It should be interesting. Yes, definitely.
For sure, and as I'm looking across, of course, at these two teams, we've got Natural Summoned, Killers Academy over on the red side for the evening. It's Curly in the top lane, it's Hillanders in the jungle, it's Nikki stepping into the mid lane, Gragnus Baron at AD, and Byron Villa, caster, of course, as well as player, over for those guys. But on the blue side, of course, if you want to take that one away, Dima.
Yeah, we have I Am Towie guys for WSL Green, we have Kraft in the jungle, Wakada Chewy in mid lane, Bauer and I hope I said that right, and AD carry, and yourself V2 as support. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with these players, but I mean, knowing that it is first versus second, I'm hoping it's very close. And yeah, we'll see how much the substitute in the mid lane for NSKA will make a difference. We'll see what bans come through as well.
Yeah, it is worth pointing out, guys, that NSKA are going to lose their first 3 bans because of very late substitution. It's a bit of a shame for them. It is going to hurt their chances here versus the first place team, but we'll have to see where it goes from now.
Did they ban? Did WXL ban, or is it just?
It's not turning up on my client either. I wonder whether they've missed a ban there or whether they've got bans dropped as well. Either way,
maybe they're just being nice and just.
That would be very sportsmanlike of them.
So let's keep a bit of confidence as well. You know, we don't need bans. You know.
I mean, indeed, we'll find out right now. That indeed, it could just be serious BM. That's always an option.
Sure. I mean, the implications of it, things like the Ari for Wakada Chui, something that they might have thought to ban out. If Nikki was one, if you're coming in as a sub, you want to be as comfortable as possible, and playing against something that could find.
Just got confirmation from production, by the way, guys. Both teams lost bans, so it's just going to be a bit of a free-for-all in the draft instead.
Okay, this could be. Who knows? I mean, could we see an Orton?
Yeah, that would be a great choice for you, there, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you just see them every single week in every game and pro play pick their band. It's such an easy champion to play. Provide your team with thousands worth of gold. So it's just.
Yeah, you see that, but of course I have seen some fairly atrocious Ornn play as of late. There was one or two pro players way over in the LJL, which I'm guessing a couple of you guys probably don't watch. We had one top laner miss multiple R2s on the Ornn in a row, but you talked about it, and there it is. First pick, IamToey locks that in. I assume for himself, but of course Wakada Chui could drop that into the mid lane. In fact, to be honest, Ornn is so flexible, could end up just about anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It could be support as well. I mean, they could be listening too. They're thinking, "Oh yes, we forgot about Ornn." I doubt it, but you never know. I'm wondering if the Echo is going to get picked up again. That could be flexed to mid and jungle. Could be something very comfortable.
Heerlanders does like to play that. Looking over at his op.gg, I would be unsurprised to see him picking that up.
Yeah, and just taking it so early. It's something that if you think about what the enemy picks in, if they're going to prioritize that ban phase, but they could go with something to reply to the Ornn. I mean, they don't know if it's exactly mid or top, but they could just be looking to take a support AD carry, potentially try and hide as much as possible.
Yeah, of course, that's wise thinking. But Aatrox being locked in, I was going to say hovered, and it was very swiftly chosen out. I'm assuming that's going up towards Curly in the top side.
Yeah, so they are thinking it will be the Ornn versus Aatrox matchup, which is, it's a difficult matchup in a sense. Like if Ornn can get the Bramble Vest early, it can be very frustrating for the Aatrox. If he doesn't get the getting contention, he's able to get the early CDR to try and punish the Ornn. But if MF gets taken with a potential of a Leona.
Yeah, of course, we do see that as a very regular duo down the bot lane. And yourself has picked it up a little bit, likes the Leona big time, but instead is going to go for the Thresh. Bit more safety, a lot of pick opportunity too.
Yeah, and I think they're going to... It's funny thinking that they're going to have to either ban out support, AD carry, or jungle. Like, it's generally the first three you sort of see. Within a ban phase, you want to try and second rotation. You're mid and top most of the time, but we'll see what the third... Okay, so it could be...
It's locked in. Diana locked in. That's an interesting one.
Okay, so complete top side of the map. Complete. That's their job done. It will be the bot lane second rotation. So they could have hidden like a potential mid laner. They could have just taken one of the BDs or supports. Like, there's nothing really thinking like there's no counters coming through now. Like they can pretty much just pick the jungle matchup they want, the mid matchup they want, and they're going to be very, very comfortable with the draft. So it's going to be interesting to see how NSK are going to use that. They prioritize the solo lanes and the jungle like very heavily early on. So it'll be down to them to see how they use it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And Jarvan's off the table, Lucian's off the table. We've been talking about Jarvan's an interesting one as well with the misfortune. Ari taken off as well. Wakada Chui is a bit of an Ari one trick. Does love that champion, so taken off the board. Alas, fortunately though, Nymira isn't here tonight. He being the other major Ari player, my fellow caster. Always sad to see that champion bound away.
Yeah, I mean it's funny enough. Never really made it to the pro scene, but it's just always a very strong champion. It's kind of like Orianna. Once a couple of things are tweaked, she seems to just all of a sudden appear, but not going to be in this game in particular. I wonder what they're going to take, because obviously it doesn't really matter in this sense. The enemy bot pick, there's nothing they can take away. They will get to counter it, but depends if they want to show support first to try and see if they can get a more mobility carry, if a scarier jungler comes through, or maybe Syndra in the mid. But
indeed, that's a valid point. And of course, there is the issue with just the lack of bans around means that you don't have to... Well, a lot more things are open. And that means that Jinx locked in here for Gragnus Baron. Wasn't expecting that.
Okay, I mean, I presume that's going to be paired with a Tahm Kench. I'm hoping
You
Yeah,
sound
tank.
desperate. Please, Domkeg,
I
something
mean,
to keep the Jinx alive.
it's just if a Malphite's being hovered and you already have Ornn, there is a potential for Gragas obviously to still be picked by
Well,
WSL.
Pantheon instead, though.
Another scary pick.
Yeah.
I presume that is going okay. I like the hover.
Pantheon,
I
and
mean,
there is. Ooh, that would be a Yasuo potential there, which would pair up wonderfully with an Ornn. And of course, when we're talking about things like flash shield vaults from Pantheons, Jinx could be in a whole world of hurt here.
yeah. Fortunately enough, NSK has a lot of damage on. I don't know if which pick I like more. I feel like the Talia will make more sense if it is jungle. To be able
It's
to
got to
roam.
be. Yeah.
It'd be much better than a Pantheon jungle just for fundamentally just how quick Talia can clear roam around this map. And even after 6, Jinx has no escape. Nautilus, he won't be able to get over that wall. And they will pick a Nautilus. So Jinx doesn't have the most amount of appeal. 4 players are going one way, Jinx is going the other. We'll see who really becomes the carry, because generally an identity of a team is generally around somewhere, but they have 4 carries. So
Big time. And
I mean,
I've also
to be fair,
going to be keeping an eye as well on that Pantheon Talia, right? It's such a powerful combo. The point and click stun from a Pantheon into the seismic shove from a Talia is world renowned. We've seen it not work out that well over in Pro, but it's kind of been picked up occasionally. So I'm really interested to see where those two go particularly.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, this mid matchup as well is very, very volatile.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
AP junglers, double ignites, and mid, assassins galore. Both scaling EDCs, hook supports. It's a good.
It's going to be a bloodbath. This is what it's going to be.
And it's just, I feel like WSL slightly won a bit more because I feel like the win condition is clearer. Like the Echo might have to go top to get the Aatrox ahead of the Ornn. His building armor. He might have to be mid because of this Talia duo. He might have to be bot to protect the Jinx. Like, he can't be everywhere.
No.
Plus, he's a carry jungler himself. He needs farm. He needs resources. So, I feel like Hitlander's job is very, very difficult this game, and the draft has put him in that position. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know what may happen.
I have got some faith in that between a Diana, an Echo, and an Aatrox. There's a lot of dive there when a Nautilus throws in a depth charge and a dredge line along top of it. They definitely got ways to get into the back line. And of course, if Pantheon and Talia Pantheon specifically don't get rolling in that kind of early to mid game, could become a little bit useless. So it's not like NSKA are completely out of options, but I'm completely with you. I do think that the win conditions for Ward Saves Live green team is going to be a little bit clearer.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not a game for AD carries. If you're looking at both these teams, AD, just a handshake. Okay, let's step aside, guys. It's not our game. Our role's not gonna be too great this game.
I mean,
but then again,
the champions are literally called Jinx and Misfortune. They're all about like bad things happening. Then it's literally in the name.
Not much fortune there, and they kind of jinxed a bad draft. But I mean, it's just, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm excited for the amount of aggression there is across both teams. But also very scared because it can go one way so one bad dive, one bad play. The other team gets, maybe 600 gold tower plate, an objective, and they might not be able to come back. The Ornn engage with the Pantheon.
Yes, of course.
Face checking a Thresh. Like, okay, both supports can tank a fair bit, but yeah.
Are we expecting kind of relatively heavy 5v5s then, looking at the drafts?
That's the thing. I mean, with both mids, Ignite, WSL's potential for 1v1 is much easier because obviously Pantheon can ultimate.
That's going to live.
1v1, and that too. So the potential for 1v1 into more or less a bait, like a game state bait. They can like look as if they're going to pick off a sideline and then the objective, and they can do that with ease. Talia can roam to a sideline and Pantheon, vice versa. The Ornn should be able to handle the Aatrox at most points in the game unless jungle attention's there. And we'll just see what objectives they prioritize as well, because both bot laners can push. And we'll just have to see how scary the Echo and the Talia are going to be for these bot laners to see if the early Drake priority is going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of expecting some fairly heavy pressure from both teams towards those bot sides. They seem like the most volatile areas. Could also see a bit of pressure towards the mid. I actually kind of expect top to be a little bit of an island or using those TPs to turn up elsewhere and cause more chaos.
Yeah, and I'd hope so, honestly. I mean, if you're WSL sake, sorry, you're hoping it's an island. You're hoping Orange is just able to get that best. Be able to just sit, chill. I'm on an island. It's okay, team. You go do your thing. If Echo tries, I should be fine. We can get advantage elsewhere. And yeah, the early game pressure. Go with the Dark Harvest in the Talia as well. That's very confident he's going to be able to use that and electrocute.
Indeed. I mean, if he does get the stacks on there, that Talia is going to hurt if she manages to pull off her full combo. Some of those, throwing some more rocks suddenly becomes boulders, and you don't really want to be on the end of a really fed Talia at that point from the jungle.
No, especially with Diana and Jinx not really having mobility outside of Diana having to use her E. Generally going forward, not backwards. So getting caught out can be quite severe. That's something they're going to have to watch out for. This position is going to be very, very key. Usually always is.
Indeed. I'm also kind of interested to see how this Echo does. We kind of heard hints that Echo was supposed to be really good in the jungle, sort of way back in sort of last year's Worlds. Never really panned out, but kind of turned up in the spring slip, looking over at sort of a lot of the pro scene. We've seen a couple people picking up Rezok for Misfits, quite famously looking pretty good on that. Over for myself, over in the LJL, we've been casting a guy called Boogie of ex-Flash Wolves fame, who's picked it up once or twice and looked pretty damn good on it too. So I'm kind of hoping that we do see this Echo play well and pull off those kind of excellent dives we know that Echo can do. But then again, he's also into a Talia, which loves to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, and he gives you, I mean, both these jugglers give you flexibility in draft as well. Both of them give you the ability to flex them to mid and just try and give yourself the best sort of matchups. But when they're both picked, I guess both teams are, shaking hands and okay, well, I guess we both win this area of the draft. And yeah, I mean, this game just feels like whichever AP jungler kind of gets the snowball early is really going to take over the game. Mid, the setup supports. It's really, I feel like game one definitely on the support on the junglers to try and exploit.
I kind of feel that at least early on, Kraft and Wakada Chewy are going to have that advantage in the mid-jungle 2v2 just because of how dangerous their champions are at sort of levels 2, 3, 4. Whereas I imagine for Nikki and Hillanders, they're going to want to hit 6 probably.
I mean, yeah, I think it's always the same. If you want to try and use your level 6, it's like, okay, like it's you see it with teams all the time. Like they can draft a team fight comp that is around, and then they go early, or they play around. They don't play around their ultimate. So it's seen if teams can have patience as well, and especially when you have such good ultimates from WSL side. It'll be interesting to see to show that patience. If NSK forced their hand, we'll have to see.
Indeed. Both teams now starting on their red buffs. That'll be an interesting scene to see because it means that junglers will end up on opposite sides of the maps as this game continues, or at least once they hit those level 3 marks looking for those early ganks. We'll see how that goes. Echo, though, gone straight towards his Krugs, whereas Talia is going to be up at her blue buff. So maybe I spoke too soon, and maybe we'll see a bit more of a contest around there as early trades in the mid lane.
Yeah, Pantheon favor level. Both.
Yeah, and a hook now, and followed by a Flaydo from yourself version 2. Does mean that trade on the bot side goes relatively even. Good start off there by Byron, who got the Aftershock running far earlier and therefore took less damage.
Yeah, and hopefully that will inspire more action. Both supports, not running guarded. We do have Aftershock. We want to hopefully fight, but yeah, as we've seen that level, trade in the mid, go towards the Pantheon's favour. But yeah, interesting pattern with the Echo. Top side clear.
Level 2 hit. In goes the hook on yourself. Byron takes a load of damage, has to flash out. Dredge slides his way to the wall, and now rooted is yourself. Gragnos turning around with the rockets, but the flash burns from Byron just for the exhaust of yourself.
Yeah, I wonder how the XP changed there, because Byron's still level 1. Even though Gragnos is okay, more action again.
Action just continues to happen as trading happens in the mid and top lane. Towie does a searing charge out of danger, and that's the end of that. You can start talking again now, mate.
It's just like trying to explain one thing and then it jumps into another. And it's like, okay, I'm kind of scared to go. But yeah, just interesting how the XP worked. Maybe he was expecting level 2, and that's why he was that far up.
Gonna stop because it's a gank in the mid lane. Seismic shove onto Nikki, who's got to flash away, but first blood over to Leah. And there's a hook in the bottom as well. Jinx takes so much damage, flashes out, but gets played back in. Gragnos trying to get away with the heal and gets out just about.
So, yeah,
Wait,
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Hillenders and flashes away. You can talk possibly again, maybe. There's a slight break in action.
I mean, they're using the Talia Pantheon very well. That is one thing. I mean, probably should have just flashed as soon as they'd seen the Talia. But yeah, with the bot lane help to secure that crab for free. And yeah, we see the advantage of just doing double buffs into another camp, giving yourself level 3, ganking earlier, whereas Ekko just wanted to do a full clear, much slower. Bot lane is looking, I would say like a possible gank, but okay.
Byron's gone in, thrown the chompers. Misfortune is rooted and taking a fair amount of damage, but she's flashing in so aggressive. I think she's gonna have it turned around. The flame isn't enough. Byron Villa picks up the kill there with the ignite. And look, Hillenders here as well. Yourself's in trouble, has got the flash. You're gonna have to use it to so much trouble. Even if he flash is gonna hit that parallel convergence. Can he get the last hit? Is he gonna be able to make it out? I think he is. No, uses the phase rush, does get in and picks up that kill as Hillenders. It is a double kill in the bot side.
Yeah, just too much aggression there. You see, he really wanted to get that kill on the Jinx. Really sad they couldn't kill the Nautilus level 1. They couldn't get the Jinx after the heal was burnt. Yeah, the Ekko was finally there. Finally gets himself on the board. The gank, both summons burned as well. I presume more bot lane action will be coming now that no summoners at all. The only summoners left is a Pantheon with the flash and the top laners on the island. So a definitely heavy first 5 minutes. Here we go again.
Does get that flash stun from the Pantheon. It's going to be enough to take Nikki out this time. No way out. 0-2-0. There's Diana in the mid lane.
Yes, it's looking rough already, but that is the combo. That is the. Some would call it cheese, but you know, it works. It's so simple. That's why it was a bot lane duo for so. And yeah, 300 gold apart. Both teams, definitely coming at the gate swing. Yeah, both junglers heavily involved.
Yeah, doing very well. Like that Talia, as you said, cheese though it might be in some ways, is 2-0. So can't complain. That Ekko 1-0. That bot lane that was looking pretty good after all those summoners burned on the bot side for the side of the ward saves live green. Turned around pretty swiftly. So it is a very even game. You're right to call it out. It's just about a 300 gold-ish powered gold difference rather to the side of WSLG. And we'll see where it continues from here. Another bit of trading on the top side and a slight CS lead actually for Ornn up here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he will. I mean, to be fair, Theon might just not bother going for Bramble Wrist. He might just think, okay, I'm just going to go straight Sunfire. Doesn't matter, hit 6. Not going to go. Is he going to go for anything? I mean, no. Okay, misses the way, but yeah, at least. Now they pick up the Drake and so much damage, okay.
Yeah, the Drake did go down, but Ornn forces the flash out of Aatrox there with a good call of the Forge God. But World Ender now running, Curly sees his opportunity, is going in, but Towie is not scared at all. It's going to be a bit sort of waiting out that World Ender, but those Darkin Blades are enormous and actually has to flash away. Actually chasing down, has he got the Umbral Dash available? Thinking about it, nope, backs away.
Oh, yeah, I thought this flash was strange. I thought maybe he can use the movement speed from the ult to try and dodge, but rather use the flash, ult trade, flash trade, and yeah, very even top lane. And that's the one lane I thought was going to be a gentleman's agreement. We're just going to be farming out, but yeah, they thought, well, the rest of the map's doing it. We're going to join in.
Wow, indeed, and Curly now at a fairly significant HP lead. But of course, while that was all happening, just to reiterate, the Cloud Drake did go down for the side of Natural Summon Killers Academy. So they've got that running for them, even if they are behind a little in gold. But as I say that, it's only about 100. They've managed to recoup some of those losses they had, and it's a pretty dead even game coming up towards 8 minutes. But Kraft is here, about to try and make it very much not that. Seismic Shove, pretty well placed, forces the back step from Curly, who is trying to back away, but so much damage, and Kraft is on a killing spree. So bad. very afraid of the rest of the map for NS.
Yeah, and has now hit 6, so ganks become that much easier. But yeah, thinking back to the start of the game where it was both junglers could just use the volatile lanes, get themselves ahead, and here we have a Taliyah that's 3-0 as jungle item when she goes back, and I don't think WSL will be too fast at that Cloud Dragon. Obviously, I think if third, that's when they'll start contesting, start stacking them up, and look for some fights. But with MF being 6 as well, Taliyah's good for mid. I think there might be some bot lane action pretty soon.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of abilities to get roaming. Nikki potentially about to walk into a card of Chewy and Craft, but no, thinks the better of it. There was a pink ward in the brush there that caught them out. They're actually trying to collapse the side of WSLG, and Gragnos has to flash away from a flash seismic shove from Craft.
I honestly thought the Pantheon would have been to walk.
Gonna have to interrupt because the fight continues. It's a good parallel conversion and an excellent bullet time. But Chewy somehow slays Highlander. Never mind that. Flashing away is Nikki, and in comes the Nautilus. In comes the Aatrox, and it's a shutdown on that Taliyah. And it's an utter nightmare from the side of WSLG as the depth charge comes through. The Call of the Forge God is here though. Can this get turned around? No. Frozen in place means he doesn't get to throw that R2 down, and Nikki slays Towie.
Absolute nightmare for WSL. You're thinking it starts off well, they try and get the flash into the Jinx, but overstaying, TP's come in. Curly just gets there ahead of time of the Ornn. Yeah, they punish them for it. It's just a very surprising turn of events. And after what you were saying was a really, really good bullet time, gets turned around, and we could potentially see a Rift Herald here as well.
Yeah, and it does mean that the side of NSKA get to pick up this first Rift Herald. 10 minutes as well. It's going to be a pretty significant pickup. We'll give them advantages. It is before turret plates have gone down. Might earn them that map pressure that they are looking for at the minute. And that Diana that was 0-2 and 0, 2-2 now. Much more back in the game.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, potentially Highlander could try and get some vision around for her. If she's going to shove, make sure that she doesn't get exposed anymore around this matchup. As I said before, it's very, very bold being against Taliyah, but those kills now, that confidence back, the gold in the pocket, having that Rift Herald now, we'll see where Lando wants to use it. And yeah, just game is game on again.
Was it ever off? It feels like I've been play-by-playing every time you try to start a color point. It's been one of those games so far where 10 kills in 10 minutes, and I suspect it's not going to stop anytime soon.
That's true. Well, the draft suggested that it was never going to be. It was never going to be a farm up till AD carries a 3 items type of game. And yeah, I guess I just felt like that the way the game is shaping to go with the Taliyah advantage, that I thought 1 or 2 more plays and it could get very, very difficult for NSK to come back. But that play there, fantastic, good setup, get punish, and we'll see what they're going to use. See if they use that Rift Herald, brother.
Edgeline comes in onto yourself version 2, and the depth charge down to Bauer, who's desperately running away. The strut's there, the Super Mega Death Rocket is as well. But no, backing away. Hillanders is here, has got parallel convergence and a chrono break to think about diving this. Bauer's got to be very careful, especially with Shelly summoned. We've got to see how this goes, but I imagine first turret potentially on the minds of the side of NSKA, but of course fighting continues on the top side, and Craft is here trying to turn this around. Flash out from the Aatrox, and that wasn't a hit on the side of the Call of the Forge. Flash in from Towie, not sure about that one. Get diced to the tower, and the missing pings come out. Yeah, Curly survives, gets a kill in return.
Yeah, but I mean, you think, okay, Curly's on the weak side of the map, he will play defensively, they go for it anyway, they blocks the dive, they get the Herald down bot, they get the Drake, they get the kill top. I mean, they may be taking the eating as well right now. The old saying, we go, bullet time comes out, not too much, but yeah, it's just gone from bad to worse in the space of 2-3 minutes for WSL. We'll see how their mental can hold and see if they can try and make the plays they do.
Yeah, well, Taliyah has of course got her runic echoes, very strong at this point. Yeah, she's died the one time, but it's not going to diminish the fact that she had already picked up the 3 kills and the 1 assist. So that's something going well for the side of WSLG. But Hook goes wide. Hillender's going to dive and flash, but it's a good play from the side of yourself. But that is a lot of damage that comes through from Gragnos and forces the flash out of the Misfortune.
Yeah, that was so close. I honestly thought it was going to go down there, but yeah, good play. Gets out just enough. They're going to lose More damage
Yourself
on
has
this
to be
tower.
really careful here. Parallel Convergence is around. Nautilus is here. Gets hooked by the Dreadshide. It's going to go down. No. Survive, because here's Wakanda Chui with that Weaver's Wall. And there's going to be so much damage from that as well. And it's going all wrong. We talked about the Avengers duo of Taliyah and Pantheon. And they are here to say they have assembled and they are shutting down the Nautilus.
Yeah, getting those 2 kills, but that's the danger. At first, they knew what the Taliyah was when they went for that Herald play, but before they do not know where Taliyah and Pantheon are now. The potential for that dive was there to go wrong. It was a good punish, and again, the game swings back and forth. 13 minutes, 13 kills, 500 goals. Only the difference between them, and yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, mid laners don't even have the first item yet, and there's just so much fighting. The top laners. Echo has only just finished his first item. It's just so much action. Not a lot of patience, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been so back and forth. You're right, the gold leader swung one way, then the other. That looked like it was a tower dive that was sure to succeed, and we kind of forgot a little bit.
Okay.
As that dredge line goes wide, just. We kind of forgot a little bit about the fact that Pantheon and Taliyah can turn up from practically anywhere, and Hero's entrance. Superhero landing with their Weaver's Wall and their Grand Starfall and turned that fight right the way around again.
Yeah, and they'll be looking to do the same. I mean, the ultimates are. Looks like they're almost lined on cooldown. I'm gonna see if there's. Okay, I thought maybe it could be a potential dive, but looks like they're just gonna get some tower pressure again. Okay.
Chewie goes in, but that was a death sentence that went a touch wide. Delayed court hearing on that sentence, it turns out, and the Nautilus gets to walk away.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe thought like potential flash just after. Okay, there we go.
Bullet time comes out from Bauer, just thinking there's going to be more of engagement, but Kraft's going to go for a lane gank. Call of the Forge God is here. Worldender is burned, but that's going to be a flash, but the Seismic Sludge misses, but the damage is there anyway. Kraft slays the Aatrox. Nice gank there.
Yeah, Kraft is having a fantastic game, 100% kill participation so far, plus the 20 CS as well.
Massive.
Having a stellar performance coming to you. And yeah, I'm seeing how they're going to bounce back. What are they going to do to try and get back into this game after...
Hook onto that Pantheon. Aegis was down, meant that the invulnerability wasn't there. It meant Pantheon had to flash. Death sentence goes wide with a decent sidestep from Gragnos. And the game potentially settles down. But I say settles, it settles down into about 1,500 gold lead for the side of WSLG. And they're going to be thinking about this Drake setup, because while the gold is in the favor of WSLG, the Drakes are not. The neutral objectives are not. Both the first Rift Herald and the first 2 Drakes have gone the side of the Natural Summon Killers Academy. So it's actually still pretty damn even, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll see them, the first tower going down. We'll get the third Drake. That's what starts snowballing towards the Soul. But yeah, it just seems to me the objectives that they have got, especially from NSK's side, they've always fought around the objectives. They've got the Herald after the Drake after a fight. They used Herald, but they want to. It just seems to be WSL kind of playing off just when will they make a mistake, not necessarily on the objectives. So I think that might have a part to play. Maybe not, but yeah, it seems to be 10% back and forth.
That's enough colour casting, because guess what? It's time for more action, it turns out. Hillanders comes dashing across the wall and looks for yourself, but they do manage to get away. But this fight for vision around the Drake pit is pretty intense. And that's because the Drake will be subbing, the Mountain Drake, first of this Mountain Rift, will be coming online in about a minute or so. Just less than I say that as the timer does turn yellow, so definitely coming up soon. But incoming gank, yourself and Bauer are in so much trouble. The Super Mega Deathlock is enormous, and that explosion is huge. And Jinx says, come on, let's play. Gets excited, and it is the bot lane dead for Bauer as this Drake is spawning. You called it. They love to fight when the objectives are coming up, and it's going to earn them a third Drake.
Yep, and they're going to get that first tower as well. It just seems to be they're just playing it. Like, it seems so strange. They're playing a perfect game around objectives, and then in between, they just get caught on mistakes and do scrappy things. And it's frustrating to think, oh, wow, they're playing so good. They're playing so clean. They have Heralds in their first tower. They've got 3 Drakes. And yeah, it's just they do such strange plays when they're caught out where they don't need to be. And yeah, just see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. At least this time it will be a trade for the side of Herald, as WSLG do pick that one up at least. But yeah, they found a lot of success out of their Pantheon and Taliyah duo, roaming and finding kills with that pairing. But we have talked about it that the objective game has gone pretty well in the favor of NSKA. They've only dropped the one objective in that second Herald.
Yeah, and kills have kind of slowed down a little bit. I'm disappointed for being 16 at 18 minutes. It's a little slow.
I know. It is just disappointing. We're not at a kill a minute anymore. I do apologise, viewers. We expect better from our teams in this particular bracket. We'll have to pick it up, really, as the game goes on.
Also, that will be a 23-minute Mountain Soul.
Wow, that
which
is
very
horrifically early.
That's very, very scary, early Soul. Yeah, so if you have a Nautilus and a team generally without a tank that has a Mountain Soul that is full damage, it's going to be very, very scary, giving them the extra tankiness. We'll see if that is enough to win the fight
what
in
it
the
might
future.
mean what it might mean for me, though, is specifically for the likes of Pantheon, who's going to want to build lethality. How effective that lethality is going to be a lot. Will be kind of muted to an extent by the fact that the Mountain Souls are giving those base resistances a bit of a hike. And that kind of that sort of base armor penetration just isn't going to be as effective as a result.
Yeah, the first time I actually heard about that was by something like 50 magic penetration.
Mm-hmm.
If you say if one Mountain Drake gives you even 3 MR, your boots are now 20% less effective.
Never mind, massive hook onto Nikki and is shut down. And that Rift Herald summoned in the mid lane as well. So that's going to be a tower over to the side of WSLG, who pull off a nice play there. Nikki just really shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about the ultimates now. Well, they look to bot lane clear. Looks like she's going to be coming down. But yeah, gets caught by Hook. Does have flash, but they didn't get a tower off it though. So that is a bonus.
But never mind that, because Wakada and Kraft are here. Avengers assembled once more, but the World Ender is popped. And that heroes versus villains fight goes the side of the Darkin this time. Does manage to escape to fight another day.
Yeah, but it's scary things though. If your Pantheon is trying to match the Aatrox who has teleport and does lose the 1v1, it is scary. I just think maybe potentially once he gets the death stack through, will the Ornn be able to handle him? Without the healing reduction of the Bramble Vest, which generally helps, but. Yeah, for now, it looks like another tower will be sieged down as well.
Yeah, Jinx is going to be a little careful because she's taken tower aggro. Was a touch foolish with her rockets. Of course, the area effect on that does damage champions, of course. And using that on the tower meant that she did get into tower range. Flash out from Byron. Yourself is here, but so is Hillanders and Nikki. Looking to turn this around. It's a 4v4 currently in the top
Here we go.
Right, it's a 5v4 because here is Aatrox. And this could be a lot of damage. The Aegis is down, means no damage onto the Pantheon for now. And a good re-engage from the Searing Charge means that potentially this is going to get turned around. Incoming massive Moonlight damage from that Diana who shuts down the Pantheon. One Targonian goes down to the other. And it is huge trade though because Misfortune picks up one at the back end. 1-for-1.
That surprisingly calm at the end of that. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a fantastic go time, picking up 2 or 3 kills with Diana ultimate, but yeah, somehow it's just a 1-for-1. I guess another objective win for NSK, and yeah, they just seem to do that. I mean, obviously Talia wasn't there, but she'll win the pressure on the bottom too. But yeah, that would have been a completely different fight if the Talia was there. Maybe they may not think about taking the fight.
We're going to see a 1v1 here. Kraft is in trouble, trying to escape from the massively sped up Hillander, and indeed, no mana is going to be an easy pick up there. Kraft was split pushing, got punished. That's a nice pickup from the Echo. Flash play from yourself. Throws the death sentence and it is just shy.
Yeah, good setup. Use the flash to try and force the flash into an easier hook, but yeah, it does get away with it. Interesting enough, the Nash's 2 thought going to be a Rod of Ages coming in for Diana was.
Yeah.
Or accelerated build path. And yeah, Jinx just farming away though. 2 items already.
About to call that one out. Absolutely. Yeah, they're just saying there is that big difference in the items between the AD carries, and that seems to be the big difference for me at the minute.
Yeah, and with the next Mountain Soul for NSK coming up, that could be a potential window for the Jinx to try and pop off in this fight. I mean, if MF does pick up that Infinity Edge with Drake, I wonder how much gold he can't be too far away. 400 more, so he is a little bit away, actually.
Alright, round 54 or whatever this is. Fight, Mountain Souls on the table. Wakada Chewy caught out.
No flash.
Flank flash. So flank rather, has no flash, you're right. And that's going to be an attempted follow from this Echo, who does get stunned, but the health bar trade is fueling the favorite Echo. But then the rest of the fight is going huge, and Grandnos is free firing at the backline. Excited is this Jink, but in comes the Grand Starfall, chasing down this AD carry. The stun is here, does pick that up, but it is such a bloody fight. So many deaths. It's currently a 3-4 for 2 for the side of Natural Summon Killers Academy, and the Mountain Soul is there. Kraft is still alive. Have they got the blast plant? I can't tell right now. Gonna try and pull it away from that threat range. Trying to come around. Gotta be careful. Ornn's up in 15 seconds. There is a teleport available. Gets slain. Does. That's at Helen just has to flip it. Chrono break back in. Double kill for the side of Taliyah. It's a 1v1 for the Dragon. And all the marbles. Huge shove. Triple kill. What is this Taliyah made of? Utterly heroic in the defense of the Mountain Soul. Claims it for her team. And that is a massive, massive win for the side of WSLG.
That is huge. That saves, potentially could be the play that saves the game. I just thought, is of course risky. Nautilus does have the right idea to go to Taliyah because she will just poke you down and do that anyway. But it doesn't matter. Ends up getting the triple kill and just saves the game. We'll see how that snowballs. Maybe the cost is higher now. You know, it's Taliyah with 8 kills now. Could just be the snowballing effect that they need to try and maybe get a potential Baron.
Those threaded volleys from Taliyah are feeling more like nuclear warheads at this point. She is 8-2-5, is well on her way to a fully stacked Dark Seal. And I wouldn't be surprised to be seeing something like a Medjai's this game, because Kraft is really feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, Echo 5-2-5 as well, sort of just not really sneaking himself back into the game, but yeah, picked up a few kills.
That lit spade is going to sting, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and also the importance of there. If Wakada didn't get onto the Jinx at the end of that fight, get that kill, that could have been a much easier time securing that Drake. All these little things really do matter. Just see Baron is up, will that force another fight? But yeah, we're back on course, 29 kills, 25 minutes, we're definitely back on course.
And the gold is dead even. It's been so back and forth. Once again, we're returned to a space where either team could pick up this first game. I just don't know who to call it for at the minute. I mean, potentially I see scaling on the side of Natural Summon Killers Academy with the fact they have a Diana and a Jinx there to be available. But the Ornn items always make me feel a bit uncertain about where scaling lies.
Yeah, I do love the ornaments, and it's just a shame he hasn't been able to get the Abyssal Mask for himself. I believe that's something like 1,600 gold on that item, or is it 1,800? There's something like that. The value you get added on top of that, and plus the first ornament item, I think he has. Yeah, so he has done Pantheon's Yomu's Ghost Blade. I presume level 14 will be the IE for him. These little things could make a big difference. Yeah, as you say, the scaling, I think, would favour the Diana and the Jinx, but yeah, who knows? Ornaments can make a huge difference.
They absolutely can. Misfortune now at 2 crit items, so those bullet times are going to be a little bit harder to deal with. And of course, Diana has picked up a very late Rod of Ages, but it's picked up nonetheless at 2 stacks right now. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes, but it will be scaling up into the later stage of the game, but it will be the later stage of the game.
Yeah, at least a 35-minute Rod of Ages. I thought that would have been the first item to go for. I thought maybe potentially, like a Rowan Asher's sort of Zonya's sort of build, but yeah, he will be a little bit more durable.
Yeah, of course. We'll get that durability as the game goes on, but either way, has got that picked up. Looking pretty strong, but looking at another engage. That's a decent shove onto Byron, who flashes away. The death sentence is there, but the parallel convergence dissuades any further engage.
Very, very close. It does burn the flash though. Not much commit, but it is just
flash away from Bauer, who's just way too far up in that lane.
Yeah, the creeps are going to come to you anyway. Really, you don't need to be there, especially with someone like an Echo is near enough. But yeah, we see top lane sort of pushing in the favour, whereas Pantheon on the bot side, so sort of trading side of the map right now. We'll see if it's a potential trade. I don't think they would be in favour to trade the Mountain Soul for a Baron.
No, I agree. But,
yeah, we'll see. I was just thinking, I've seen the gold before. It was 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold, 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 1 almost 1,500 in the lead for the Jinx, and I wonder, sitting on 2.2k, I wonder if that is going to be a bloodthirster, or potentially, I doubt it's going to be a scimitar, but okay.
Mountain Drake will be spawning in just under a minute now, so I suspect we'll be seeing another pretty hotly contested fight around that if we don't see someone attempt to trade into that Baron. I suspect at this point, with the items that have been accrued by Taliyah and Miss Fortune, WSLG could potentially trade that if they felt that was a worthy thing to do.
Yeah, and at least both top laners are the opposite of the map of the Soul. They do have the teleports available, but yeah, interestingly enough, the Jinx isn't going to go for a second crit item, or sorry, a third, really, an attack speed item. It's going to go for the Bloodthirster to get the healing through first. Whether that makes a big difference, I don't really know the damage numbers between.
I can kind of understand it when you're seeing the Pantheon come at you so aggressively. Yeah. That extra healing might keep her alive. We'll see how it goes. Definitely give the shielding. I suppose if it's stacking with a Mountain Soul as well, I could see those overshields being fairly ridiculous.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you'll end up with a 400 to 500 health shield. Pantheon will all of a sudden be doing no damage to you at all. And yeah, we're already seeing, that's full damage from the Aatrox, and not really even tickling the on at the moment, but yeah.
The most hotly contested thing at the minute is the vision going back and forth. Highlander throws that massive clock out, does a lot of damage. Byron takes huge amount to turn though. That parallel convergence is there, and the damage is big. Yourself goes down. Wakanda's in the backline, but he's all alone. Ornn has slayed the Nautilus, but Wakanda has got the Aegis of the Legion, trying to keep himself alive. Not enough. That Super Mega Death Rocket was going Super Mega nowhere, and Nikki trying to get herself out with the Blast Light does so for now. Highlanders is over the back, but he's very, very low. Has he got the parallel convergence? No, triple kill to this Ornn.
Yeah, just again, the execution just not there. Highlander just not able to really get the full damage down, doesn't have the health. It looks like it will most likely be the second. Drake going over, it definitely will. Ornn ready, getting 10% of the resistances plus, is now going to be getting further, I think it's 4% or 6%, so that's 12% on top of that. Armor and MR, and he is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, that means it's still Soul Point, the side of NSKA, frustrated one more time. And it's double Mountain Drake now over to the side of yourself. Sorry, not just yourself, but rather the whole of WSLG. Yeah, it's just him, just the Thresh. No one else gets that. He's stealing that alongside people like Senna. But yes, starting to get a little bit tanky. And this Ornn, with those Mountain Drakes, is going to become an absolute nightmare to try and chunk free.
Yeah, you have 309 armor, which I think that was before
that's vile.
That was before that Warren's now coming through. So what's he got now? What's he sitting on? He is sitting on 359 armor. Currently 78% reduced physical damage. So yes, Jinx is going to have a hard time getting through.
She's going towards a third crit item now, and not anything like a Last Whisper. So it's even going to be a last item buy of something that can cut through that armor. And sure, Echo's not bad consistent damage, but he's no tank killer.
Yeah, exactly. It's just getting a little bit scarier, and it is really just through the Ornn. I mean, last fight got a triple kill because it's just so durable, so hard to kill, does so much damage as well. He's basically just better version of the Aatrox, really. We've seen Aatrox in the back of that fight, not able to do enough.
Yeah.
But
I've got a bit of a question for you, Demo. Have you been paying attention to Taliyah's level? Because I want to know how on earth she has out-leveled absolutely everybody in this game.
Well, the 212 CS and the 15 kill participation will certainly do that for us.
We'll do it, you're right. And that's with all those jungle nerfs.
Yes, so, I mean, he's just farmed up a slot. But that's the thing, like, if you're already thinking about next game potential, is the Taliyah, will he just be able to do that with something else? Will he be able to do, the Graves, the Kindra's, those sort of champions that can farm up, can be damage dealers, not quite the same impact on the map. Yeah, it's something for them to think about in this Taliyah. If she does pick up that death cap, I really fear that Jinx just gets one shot, or if she doesn't position perfectly enough.
Yeah, of course, we have seen Echo get on top of the Taliyah once or twice and change to Highlander, though, found Wakanda in the jungle. Is going to be a little bit scared that Aegis comes up, but everybody else is here now, and there is still a chrono break available, but it doesn't matter. Highlander picks it up with a little assistance from Jinx, but Kraft looking to return the favor. The dash is there. so is that pale cascade, but it is just a pale reflection upon the waters because she is dead. But Aatrox is here, and the Blood Moon is riding just as Diana's moon is setting. And it's a huge fight for this Aatrox. It's going pretty well because that bullet time is into nobody. And Taui is isolated. And tanky you may be, Ornn, but you're not. Tanky, enough. Shut down for that Echo.
Yeah. It's a little bit dicey there, thinking it could go both ways. I don't know if it's just been
man, this Taliyah is super strong. In goes the Echo. But very strong still is the Taliyah. Just might turn it around. And somewhere off screen, Aatrox fell as well, so it was a 3-for-2. Tight fight, but it is now 39 kills in 33 minutes. Welcome, my friend Demo, to the Valence League at its finest.
Yes, it's a bloodbath, sure enough. I mean, the Aatrox is trying his best. He's no on. He is really trying to get into the back and cause as much disruption as possible.
Gragnos trade the life for the mid lane 2-1.
That's at 950.
This is great.
Okay. There's pings on the Baron. I do not blame. That was straight. I mean, okay, you really want the tower, I get it, but 950 gold, was it worth it? I mean, MF is now being on 2.4k with a molten edge. It's okay.
Wow, Death Cap is completed for Taliyah. It is the Molten Edge upgraded by Ornn for the very grateful Misfortune. And Hillanders is nowhere near this Baron, but we have got a pause as yourself appears to have disconnected briefly. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Support DC is what we're seeing currently.
Yeah, and I wonder if Jinx's brain did that last fight, but I would just hate through all this play for the game to be decided of trying to get a tier 1 tower.
I know, it would be so disappointing. This game has been so back and forth. It is the first place team versus the second place team. And of course, WSLG currently undefeated in terms of series. They've dropped games here and there, but like this is really damn close. And we've seen some pretty good, solid early game, mid game,
for sure,
objective focus from the side of NSKA. And it'd be such a shame for it to go out this way.
I know, exactly. And you know, how will his mental be second game? Something like that was to happen. But I mean, 4 members still alive to contest the Baron is still risky. Pantheon's still looking just over 1,000 HP. It's not the easiest Baron to take. You know, you only have the Ornn to tank it, who isn't there yet, so it's not fully decided yet. But 20 seconds on that Jinx certainly will hurt.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's nice to have the breather, right, and to look at this game at a bigger scale. Like, we've been so focused on like how bloody this game has been. It's been really difficult to take a step back and really look at the perspective. I kind of want to put that to you now, my friend. Mm-hmm. Where are you seeing this gold as it is 20-20? It's potentially the side of the Baron for WSLG. Is that what it's going to take? Is that all it will take to break this game into something that's not even?
Well, I'll look at the wave core, and you've got the rockets from Jinx, you've got the Q from Echo. I mean, sieging against an Ornn, Taliyah lands one seismic shove, a hook. It could be very, very scary, and I feel like the Baron is going to break the game open. Like, we've seen it so even for 34 minutes. If they get the Baron into the mountain, so like into the third mountain Drake, I feel like it's almost too difficult for them to come back. But NSK have consistently found the fights to come back in. I thought the Ornn was going to be unkillable. Did die at the end of that last fight. I feel like if they get Kraft, I feel like that's where it would break, because he's been alive, stopped the mountain soul before, survived that last fight. I feel like he is crucial, but yeah, this Baron's going down so fast, actually.
No chance to contest. It is a clean pickup for the side of WSLG, off the side of Gragnos dying for that mid-tier 1. And is that it? We've been having that conversation over the pause. We're back into game. Is that all it's going to take to see this game broken open? But of course, Mountain Soul on the table for the third time, and it's a Fnatic Death Rush, and yourself is about to find themselves in the death chamber, we think, but that is huge damage from that ridiculous bullet time. But the Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, the Chrono Break is burned as well, and it is monstrous damage from this huge Misfortune, who is running rampant. And Ornn is there as well. Run away, Echo. You can't time travel out of this one. Or maybe he can at least run.
Yeah, I mean, especially if these two survive, that is very, very crucial to stopping the game going down. They just have to survive. Just do not die. Do not get caught right now. But yeah, they managed to get the jungler. Yeah, I mean, the support was just too tanky. Your stealth was never going to go down straight away on the stretch. But yeah, they could look to end the game here, though.
Well, yeah, we're looking at still 20 seconds left on Jinx, but it was a 3 for 2. But it was a 3 for 2 with a major health bar lead on the side of WSLG. And with no wave clear truly available, base broken, inhibitor taken, and the Drake still on the board. And I think WSLG are about to pick themselves up a third Mountain Drake.
Yeah, Echo is running on the way, but they know he's coming. They're going to look for this right now. Just wonder if he's...
Yeah, he's thinking about it, but there's a Pantheon there ready to just point and click stun that Echo if he ever dares poke his head out. And that means the Super Mega Death Throw comes as a flyby, sadly waving that fourth Mountain Drake of the game goodbye. And that means that both teams now at soul points. But the Baron to the side of WSLG, they're looking to be more and more in control of this game as we crest up towards the late game proper. 36.5 minutes in at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, we're pinpoint in the draft. I mean, it's not really the draft initially. Okay, the Aatrox having the performance that you would like, but they were still winning fights. And yeah, I don't want to go back to it, but that mid tower going down, them getting that Baron, really did, break open the base. But this could be a catch now.
Yeah. But here we go, it's another chance that the Craft has been pushing on their own in a side lane. It happened earlier with Echo running her down 1v1. It happens again now. That is the fourth death to this Echo, who just got a little bit too big for her britches, walking up alone in that side lane.
Yeah, I know he has access to them. Actually, he doesn't have access to them. Not until now. But yeah, they are able to get a tier 2 pop. But again, taking away that pressure, killing a member, stops that Baron push. They are going to back off now. Only getting that middle inhibitor, and 37 minutes is only going to be going to the pockets of NSKA, which they're going to be more than happy with. And yeah, we're back to, the gold lead is only 3,000. It's not much when you're over 6,000 anyway. It's such a close game, it can still go either way.
But again, we talked about it earlier, those ornaments, those Ornn upgrades. Probably time to check in on them again. That is a Rabadon's Death Crown for that Taliyah, which is pretty insane. And I can't remember what the Redemption's upgrade is, but that is in for the Thresh. And of course, we've already seen that the Molten Edge is there for the Misfortune. Is doing
Salvation.
Salvation. I definitely had that kind of image in my mind, but I didn't want to call that out wrong. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, I just thought have a little browse, but yeah, Salvation. Very nice name, I like that. Redemption Salvation. It's very nice. Yeah, as we see, I'm just having a look at why Echo has Paralanomicon right now.
Is there any healing to be speaking of?
I don't like to be an ALS. I don't. But when you could have got Void Staff, considering there's an Abyssal Mass, there is a Banshee's Veil.
Well, I suppose are we expecting potentially a Ravenous Hunter on the side of Taliyah? Is that what was in the rune choices? I suppose Misfortune will get a little bit from Bloodlights, but that's about all I could think of.
Yeah,
Redemption. There we go. There's the healing. That's what you're trying to stop.
Well, the only Salvation I'm thinking of, okay, he's went for the pen. I understand it. He has to go to complete the item, but it's just a little bit lazy. You could have that Void Staff. You could have a bit more punch towards this on. Who you really need to take that. It does the same damage as an Aatrox, but has 2,000 health higher. So. Yeah, but they will push it mid. They've got time. Well, meanwhile, Wakara decides to do the blue buff. They don't have pressure in the bottom, but see if they want to set up for this Baron.
But suddenly, all of the towers that NSKA have managed to keep up all game are starting to truly fall. They have no outer turrets left at all now. Very true.
And yeah, it's getting scary. The next fight, I'm sure, if they do decide to fight around the Soul and Baron, it should decide the game.
Well, I kind of agree with you. Especially if WSLG pick it up, there's an open inhibitor, and not much between them with the size of the death timers at this point in the game and the end of the game if they do pick up that next team fight win. Are you expect them to win it at this point? Obviously we've kind of been aware of those Ornn upgrades coming in, but what are the kind of options that NSKA have at this point?
I feel like it is definitely WSLG's game to. The ornaments coming through, the strength of the team fight they've shown the past 2 to 3 fights. The obvious Baron pickup, that chunk right there is just so much damage. And yeah, they had the, well, I say they have the Baron set up, but there is a ward on the pit right now. I'm sure that will be sweat. There we go. Okay, that's now gone. If Diana recalls and they go for this, that could be very, very scary. Okay, very, very scary.
And the Baron is studded. We've got a teleport coming in. Wakata Chewy going to be jumped on by Highlanders, but he's then therefore not around to spike the Baron, but the side of WSLG do pull away from it. Baron attempt successfully thwarted by the side of NSKA, but for the cost of Curly's teleport. But Wakata is now out in trouble as Wakata Chewy runs away with a fair amount of swiftness with that Ghost Blade. And that Mountain Soul now on the table. Kraft is on it, and the rest of NSKA are being herded away by this Taliyah, by this Horn. They just can't get. I think this Drake is just about gone with the amount of damage that the. I speak about it. Taliyah has destroyed it. Mountain Soul with 4 Mountain Drakes on the side of WSLG. They are ridiculously tanky now. And the call of the Forge God comes through and catches Echo, who parallel converges but into his death. That wasn't the right timeline.
No. He didn't want to go back in time there, but yeah, when you got 24% resistance is buffed, I don't think I've ever seen the Drakes, but yeah, this could just be curtains. I don't know if they're going to just push in. I mean, I feel like they still might need a Baron with this Jinx being full build, but 2 inhibitors definitely.
Highlanders with so much of the power on the side of NSKA, and the fight is starting. They feel they've got to take this fight or it's all over. And that bullet time into bullet ocean. Everybody's got down into double already for the Misfortune, and she is so damn strong. The Queen of Bilgewater is ready to play, and that is GG. Triple kill already. Is it a quadrant? No.
No.
That's so, and that'll be GG. Game 1 goes to the side of Ward, Save, Lives, Greed.
Yep, 51 kills, 42 minutes, 7 Drakes, Barons, and a Parkins in the first league. I mean, that is just, I mean, what more could you want from a game 1 between number 1 and number 2? But yeah, very, very messy. Both team comps suggest that, but yeah, they played very well towards the end of the game. They knew what they had to do. They got the fights. They got that Baron. As soon as they got that Baron, they never looked bad. They picked up the Drakes, they found the fights. And after such a strong first 20 minutes, NSKA, who fought around every objective perfectly, yeah, it just wasn't enough. And we'll see if they can turn it around the game 2.
And we're just looking over at these damage graphs afterwards here as well. That Taliyah was doing pretty obscene damage. We kind of expected it with the items now well they're done, but definitely showing through in those damage shots. That's like 35k damage over the course of that game. Pretty good stuff there from the side of Kraft.
Yeah, I just wonder if that potentially swap will be banned. You know, little things like that can have a huge implication on draft and how they're going to play on this game too. He's going to definitely regret that play going for that tier 1.
Yeah, that we called it, right? It was a game of inches until someone just overstepped a little bit more than that 1 inch space they had. And WSLG kind of pounced and took the game away from them at that point.
They just they pinged the Baron straight after that pick, and that was it.
Well, we'll see whether NSKA can come back in the second game of this series. It's not over yet, but we'll see you after a bit of a swift break. See you guys soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Valence League. We had a pretty close game one, all until it wasn't, and this will be the second game in a series between Natural Summoned Killers Academy and Ward Save Lives Green.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle a game 2 of that craziness. I think it was like 9 kills over the minutes in the game. Back and forth up to, what was it, 35 minutes, something like that?
Something like that. It was probably ended about I think 40 minutes so by the time the game was all said and done. Someone would have to correct me on that. I was so busy trying to survive the various team fights. We did have more than a kill a minute, I believe, by the time we were done. So this time around, I believe teams will have bans back for this game, but I may well be wrong. So if I get corrected by my producers, I will tell you swiftly. But we'll find out shortly anyway.
Mental God is back in the top lane, and Carly's back to mid. So
that's good stuff.
Could be a very different series. And yes, I guess they do have bans. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting stuff. Is Jax set okay? Very standard. I mean, Jax okay, maybe not so much, but set very standard. I wonder if Ornn's going to be coming out.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that I Am Towie does love to play the Jax, so that's very much targeted at him. So yeah, that's understandable. Set as well as something that Mental God is known to play alongside something like, alongside the Yasuo. So I would be surprised to see that one coming out as well.
Yeah, I wonder if the Azir might be taken away.
Curly does love to play that.
Sort of like
in his natural space to the mid lane.
You're going to ban my Ahri. You're not getting Azir.
You're going to Azir if I ban Ahri. That's exactly it.
We'll see, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see. I mean, I don't know much more compared to last game, but yeah, Lucian going to get taken away as well. I guess they're not really too fussed about that jinx just yet, but yeah, well, I wonder if the picks will slightly tweak as well, because obviously we've seen top jungle mid being picked very early on in the draft for NSK. So, as a Diana gets taken away, okay.
Felt uncomfortable with that being on the board, of course, and I want to talk a little bit about that Lucian ban as well. Of course, it's worth pointing out that I Am Towie does in fact play the Lucian pretty well, or sorry, rather, Mental God does play that Lucian pretty well alongside Gragnar, so it was a pretty powerful flex pick for the side of that team. I'm guessing if Towie wants to run towards something like the Jaxes, the Aatrox that he does love to play, having a Lucian up there bullying him would be a little bit miserable, so I can see wanting to take that off the board.
Yeah, taking that Thresh away from a potential first pick from Byron as well. And that's the thing. It's like, what do you prioritize now? That Ornn is open. And,
well, surprise, surprise. It's taken. Taken, but into the waiting, gleeful arms of NSK Academy. We go, you had it last time. This time we get it. Welcome arms of ornaments and upgrades and engages from literally screens away.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, we're expecting the Ornn. We know the first pick, they didn't ban it, so they must have something into it. Okay.
Mordekaiser. Yeah. All right, run me through that. How do you feel the Mordekaiser Ornn matchup is?
I mean, I just feel like it takes a lot for the Mord to get through him. If you could punish him early game, but then he has the W, makes him unstoppable, make sure he doesn't get dragged back into the Mordekaiser. I'm not too sure. It can work though. It can work just like the Aatrox, but you have to prioritize. You have to focus around it. The Mordekaiser gets ahead of the Ornn, puts him really far behind building the Abyssal Mask. It can change things, but from a standard point of view, I'm definitely in favour. But
this time around, yeah, Craft's going to be going towards a Sejuani. Was on that Talia, went absolutely massive in that last game, but isn't on so much of a carry this time. Going more towards that tanky front lane, that engage. Still very much on the front foot, but it's going to be a bit of a different one. Whereas Hylendis is going back towards that Echo, and considering this time that it's not versus a Talia with all that early game agency, I think Hylendis might be looking at that Sejuani and rubbing his hands with a little bit of glee. Yorick being hovered and locked in. So that looks like it's going to be an Ornn mid, and it'll be a Yorick Mordekaiser potentially top lane. Of course, Mordekaiser could also be flexed yet, so who knows? I could be speaking complete trash right now.
It's kind of clever in a way. It's like, okay, well, like, I'm not too sure of this Ornn Mordekaiser matchup, so I could take it mid. Okay, we'll put it mid. Then what do you want? I would not have expected the pick to be, give me Yorick, but Victor kind of, okay. Very smart pick. Victor does just free farm to Ornn. Doesn't care.
That's a big deal, right? Anybody who was watching the NALCS last night will probably have some flashbacks to Pobelter deleting TSM on that champion last night. So definitely something you can do. Victor feeling pretty strong in the current meta. Leona now in this second phase of that.
Yeah, and probably not list. I presume another pick like that one. But saving the bot lanes again for the second, it's not strange, but it's like, I get there is priority, but like for counter and trying to get an edge over opponent, I wouldn't think the bot lane matchup is exactly where first. But then again, the Drake's
MF taken off, yeah, and that's true. And I would also say, like, we have seen the propensity for particularly WSLG to pick up something like Pantheon and Taliyah. What's the bets that those guys play it down the bot lane?
I mean, they could. I mean, it worked last game. Early game was. I mean, okay, it changes because they're playing them, but the fundamental, the way they work, doesn't change, and they can go for the exact same. Okay, there we go. I thought that was going to come out. They've still got a Tam Kench. Sejuani throws an R out. Tam Kench. Thank you, Mel. I mean, there's your all gone. Bowers Twitch, yeah, that's going to
and of course
away as well.
So the Hook champions large take off board alongside Leona. A lot of play Nami as well, so could potentially default something like picked up, and of course yourself is a pretty prolific Rakan player. So that's Xayah Rakan.
Big Rakan. I feel so much. Their team just looking like a snack right now. You get Xayah Rakan, and you have the Victor stealing the Sejuani. Mordekaiser. Braum is a good pick, however, though. I do like it into the Sejuani and Xayah, particularly. Not really too fast. Victor.
And it is one of the tanky supports, a lot of defense. You stick the door up, and so much is unavailable to your team. Caitlyn being potentially picked up here would offer a fairly heavy shove down towards that bot lane, but instead goes towards Jhin. Now, that's not something I've seen in a sort of competitive environment in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal was available. Yeah, then again, there is a Sejuani, but it's going to have to do a lot of work during the laning phase. If Sejuani does get any sort of lead in health, on her health pool, Yorick in a side lane, Ornn has real damage to kill a tank. Yeah, the Echo, they have to do a lot in the early game to see this Jhin Braum, but yeah, that Braum passive, it can also create a lot of problems if someone's caught out. So
very strong level 1 as well, so could see some shenanigans early on.
Yeah, but 4 teleports right now as well.
Yeah, now we've kind of seen the team comps. I'm getting the impression you're favouring WSLGs this time around.
I mean, it's more standard. And what I mean by that is it's just like you have the safe scale mid laner, you have the tank jungler, the top laner that's durable, that's like a bruiser, and then you have the Xayah Rakan that's always went together. Whereas like the Ornn isn't, but he's not holding down a tank. An assassin. It's not a Kiana against. It's not a Syndra. It's a Victor. Someone who's like, okay, well, I'm gonna scale. That's cool. I've got 1100 gold. Okay, let me back. Let me get my upgrade. Right, I'm going to press E. Wait, it's gone. Right, okay, now I'm going to go. I'm going to close you up. And Yorick never really been a good team fighter. Always split pushes, and if Mordekaiser does happen to get a lead, that diminishes. That win condition goes. If Jhin falls behind, how's he killing a Sejuani?
Yeah, the 4 bullets you shoot in will only anger her, and the only art that will be displayed will in fact be Jin's very lovingly displayed corpse, as he is gored to death by that very large boar.
that boar's going to be pretty angry if you're not killing it. But yeah, then again, okay, you could say, well, if the Xayah falls behind, how's it killing it? The Mordekaiser won't kill the Yorick. The Victor won't get through. The damage, the Echo will stay on top. There is. Options.
Once again, we've got a fairly good dive combo from the mid jungle 2v2 of Hillanders and Curly. So if they do manage to get a bit of a roam, the Call of the Forge God and the Chrono Break are pretty powerful tools. But I'm not sure how easy. I'm not sure how easy the Mordekaiser will be to dive. Of course, with the Death Throne, can make any sort of like multi-man fight into a 1v1 pretty easily. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to go on there.
Yeah, I feel like the Yorick 1v1 is something that Mordekaiser don't think he'll want to take. I don't think he wants to bring Mord, and I don't know VL's name for Mordekaiser's ult. I know things like Shelly and Shirley for Rift Herald. I don't know Yorick's ult's called. I know. Or Susan, for instance. I don't know.
Maiden of the Mist, of course, will be Yorick's ult. Always a powerful one.
Yeah.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing that, actually. I think we've seen a little bit of Yorick around the world, only tiny little bits and pieces. But when it has turned up, has looked actually surprisingly strong. Someone I cast way out in the LGL, not to bring that back too many times. Appermen out there with the fantastic name, with the capitalized men, proved himself a real man on that pick, going like 2v3 or 1v3 multiple times on that champion. Looks pretty strong in the right hands, and Mental Gord does like his things like he's a bit of a Yasuo player, so that kind of 1v9 mentality is definitely something I suspect he has. And we'll see if I can pull it out on that Yorick, and I have some hope for him.
Yeah, and I don't see very many, so we'll see if it's something that will just 1v9 take over the game. Who knows?
He'll be digging a grave one way or another. It'll either be for himself or the Mordecai. So we'll see how it goes. We've got a grave digger in a death realm. So that's a really good question. Should Mordekaiser be hiring Yorick? Just bring him into the death realm. He's like, yo, I've got a job for you. I've got so many bodies in here in this dead place. I just need you to like clear it up for me. Literally Hell's janitor. It'd be great.
You can join them if you want. I mean, one of them's going to be there, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I'm also thinking of what ornaments. Jhin can pretty easily get that Infinity Edge. It's not like he needs lethality or anything. No. He doesn't need attack speed, so that's very easy. Echo can get Zhonya's pretty easily. Yorick with the Triforce.
Yeah.
Support can get Locket Redemption. So I mean, there's very easy items. There's no toughness behind it. So that's something else that I'm looking out for.
And when Trinity Force is already such a big spike, right? Upgrading that to a Trinity Fusion does just sort of like add that little extra bit on top. And when you are potentially relying on that Yorick to be a serious win condition for your team, I can see that being something to be looking on pretty favorably. But, we have had that conversation on the other side that we're pretty big fans of WSLG's more standard comp. That Victor's going to have pretty easy time scaling in the mid lane. Zyra Khan is a very infamous duo, a lot of engage, a lot of disengage. They stick the W running and suddenly they've got a lot of power walking forwards as well. Very true. I've got a lot of faith in WSLG at the minute, but see what Mental Gord can do over up in the top lane. And, Hilland is on that Echo, had a great game last time. Maybe he can pull out a win this time on that champion.
Yeah, true. Now able to... Taskbar was actually over the bottom part of the screen last game, which didn't really help me. But it's much better now. And I'm just thinking, where's the jungler's focus this game? Because you don't really want to focus on Ornn in terms of getting ahead, but I guess he can put himself ahead with the Ornn setup of the ganks. Braum passive, I guess Winter Spike can help, but it's definitely very scary for Jhin if you're against, Sejuani Rakan. So it'll be something that's definitely going to be looking out for.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see how it plays out early. Of course, this will be a little less true all-out aggro you imagine from the team comps early, because Echo and Sejuani will want to get a little bit more to their name straight away. But have to see how that kind of goes.
Yep, and it'll be... Just trying to think of anything interestingly happen in terms of early items now.
Probably not too much at the minute. Looking at those runes, they seem pretty standard. I'm not seeing anything on there that's making me raise my eyebrows. Victor's gone towards the phase rush, keep himself safe. Will allow to run away from Call of the Forge God if that ever decides to come out. And it's fleet footwork from Jhin.
Yeah, gives him more speed. I've seen him, but he gets 3-4 items and he hits one auto attack very, very fast. And he'll definitely need to be to keep away from Mordekaiser situation.
It's not Earth, but maybe we'll not get the fast, but we'll get like the mildly quick walker. So that's definitely something available there. And we're seeing the nice emote spam or just general taunt spam from Yorick. That's actually really obnoxious. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that one before, but I've got that noise ringing in my ears now. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
That's how the game's going to really be one. Mental Gord with the mental game already level 1, tilting me as a caster.
Yeah. I mean... Hopefully the camera doesn't pan too much up there. That'll save you. That'll save you the trouble. But
It's top side starts with both junglers. Probably means they're going to end up on the bot side at the same kind of time, depending on their sort of pathing. But a nice little whack on the head from Mental Gord.
yeah, and also they wanted to put the Victor top. They really did want the Mordekaiser.
I realised that. Yeah, it's a level 2 gank onto Curly. That's not going to mean all that much. Decent obliterate there. But yeah, you're right. It's Taui when the Mordekaiser in mid versus that Ornn. And it's Wakanda Chewy in that top lane versus this Yorick.
Yeah, I seen that in LCK yesterday. It was the Victor that went top lane as well. I don't think Sword had too much of a fun time, but
no,
yeah,
no, he did not.
They definitely wanted the Mordekaiser versus the Ornn. They will force it if they have to.
Yeah, Victor top, definitely not unheard of. Gonna have a lot of opportunities to run away from the ghouls with the Siphon Power. And I imagine with an upgraded Death Laser, we'll be able to kind of deal with those ghouls. But until he does get that point, those ghouls are going to be really damn obnoxious.
Yeah, you hate this. It's such an obnoxious champion to play against. But yeah, that's why he's picked. Still has an early CS lead, early health lead. Not what you would normally see in a range versus melee matchup. But does in this case. And also a lot of damage though.
Yes, it is. Those ghouls are as obnoxious as ever. And we called it earlier. The Victor maybe going to have a little bit of a tough time until he gets a couple items. Engage brief and furious. Gets a double knock-up with that grand entrance, actually, somehow, some way.
Yeah, maybe a sign of thing. But yeah, slight CS leads here and there. 4 for bot, 6 for 7 top. That's a bit more surprising than I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay.
That's in a melee matchup as well. Yorick doing a very good job. And flash out from Kraft, who's gone for a super aggressive engage and a flash first love for the Ornn. Kraft, buddy, I know you had a great game 1, but you are no longer 9-2. You can't be doing that kind of thing.
What? Why didn't you just turn on the Ornn and just?
I've got nothing for you, buddy. Victor and Yorick trading once again, and you'll have to live in confusion because either way, that Sejuani died for first blood, and Kraft proves that even when he's not an early champion, likes to play it like it is, and this time gets punished pretty hard.
Yeah, I've just never seen that with flashing the opposite way, getting hit by. Okay, but yeah, this topping matchup not quite going how I thought either. Man's definitely getting the better of these trades. The mana pool, the health pool, CS advantage as well. It's very strange.
It's about a 10 up there at the minute, but Victor probably has a wave to collect on the tower at least for a couple. But right now, about 10 as far as those waves pick up. It's about a 5 in the bot lane though, so that's Zyra Khan having a fairly good time around there. But look, it is Hilliard who's got a very well placed parallel convergence. And what a beautiful stun from the Jin W as well. But rooted on the tower is Byron. Takes the ignite and has to flash back out.
I think, okay, getting to the top
Mental
as well.
Gord, yeah, but the cage is there. Probably going to be able to walk away. No, the stun is there too. Flashes away as Mental Gord gets to survive. Decent gank though from Kraft. Does force the flash from the Yorick.
Yeah, at least he gets something for his time. Okay.
Mordekaiser in trouble here. Takes a Rebel proc. Pops his shield and will survive. But with that early pressure, we're going to see that Drake picked up early now for the side of NSKA.
Yep, same thing again. They go for a gank, they win the health trade, or they get a kill, and they turn it into an objective. Also with mid pressure as well. Yeah, they're starting off exactly how they did last game. This time, you know, it's a completely different ball game. They have their own. They have a bit more late game insurance. They have a definitely more annoying threat in the top lane that has to force at least 1 to 2 people to him later in the game. Yeah, that's the scary thing. If you know Ornn's picked up the Tema already. 3 of the champions already are going to struggle.
And we've also got to sort of like compliment that NSKA put up such a good fight when they had Curly up in the top lane and it was their substitute out in mid. So some real props to them for putting up as good a fight they did with their players in the wrong positions, right? So this time around, maybe they can look a little bit stronger. They've got about 100 gold lead right now, probably on the back of that of that first blood, but it's kind of turning around a little bit. I'm kind of trying to work out where all that gold is coming from for the side of WSOG, and I'm guessing it's towards that Zyra Khan, who are looking pretty solidly ahead down there.
Yeah, just the CS. I mean, it wasn't a very good recall either. They get that wave shoved in, I don't think, but yeah, mid's damage numbers are definitely going to be high.
Well, look who it is. It's Hillanders, and it's a parallel convergence one more time, but this time there's a Death Realm, and Echo does manage to walk away, but that looked a touch scary for a minute because that was a 2-level advantage. Pretty sure the level up came through as the Echo was coming for a gank there as well.
Yeah, fortunate enough, doesn't lose his life, doesn't lose his flash either. Unless it's actually not up. I can't. I'm trying to check. Don't know if it's up or not. But that's the model down, and they potentially can go for a regank, but at least they're going to be going bot.
Hillanders is just ganking mid bot, and this time Bauer goes down, picked up by the Jhin gratefully, and that's some fantastic early pressure from this Echo.
Yeah, just a fantastic gank again, just well placed. You know, he uses the parallel convergence to perfection.
Speaking of return ganks, look who it is. It's Kraft, and the Chaos Storm is there to pick up Mental God's life.
Yeah, just I thought it was going to be pretty close, but yeah, that definitely relieves some pressure that he's been under. Mana pool definitely depleted most of the time, and yeah, we'll see if that kill can tilt the matchup.
Yeah, indeed. It's like Iron Tower a little bit shy on health, but has at least got a bit of a CS lead for now. But that Negatron early buy from Ornn is going to be really stunting that Mordekaiser's damage.
Yeah, and that was the worry before, when you know you're really forcing this on Mordekaiser matchup, but he does have an Negatron. He's losing health trades. He has been farm okay, but I mean it's not really Mordekaiser's purpose. He wants to bully, he wants to be ahead, he wants to get you death and make life a misery. And right now it's not really working out for him.
Either way, it is once again as in this series, a dead even game. I think it's about 200 gold, if that separates these two teams. It is an Ocean Drake over to the side of, we'll have to take that back for a minute. I was going to say NSK, but it's another fight in the top side because Wakada is caught inside that baby case and the Conqueror is running. Not going to think about going under the tower though. Jeez. Probably quite wise.
So much damage from. Oh boy. And yeah, you know, range versus melee matchup even is yeah, but good things from Bauer still.
Well, Curly's turned up bot, and that means that there's a fair amount of damage onto yourself, who has to flash away. That Jhin ultimate comes down, the curtain call is here, and will we see anybody coming out for a second show? Nope. That's the end of that, and Jhin does not get the encore he was looking for.
Yeah, a little bit strange. I thought, okay, I mean, there's nothing really to gain after you burn the flash from the can. Yeah, trying to go for enemy. I was just thinking if potentially if that ult was top lane instead, you know, we would have a dead Victor, but yeah, at least they tried to be proactive in the bot once again.
Yeah, and I suppose there's something to it in the fact that we have got a second Drake spawning fairly shortly. Would have given them a bit more opportunity to get that wave shoved in, bit of pressure ready for that. But either way, flash burn for the price of 2 ultimates. So not the worst trade in the world, but I don't think they will be available for when the Drake spawns, which could be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know exactly who was pinging the be careful. Said running gang top, but very wise indeed to try and avoid that gank. And yeah, Drake coming up soon. We'll see if the Herald gets swapped, possibly, but that's a lot of damage.
That it is. And Wakada's generally not having a particularly good time up here with this Yorick, who is now 20 CS up, and yeah, there was the early kill. Chaos Storm comes down, but those ghouls are running after that Victor. Good flash away from the Arctic Assault from Mental God, and there's that massive stun though, and he's in trouble, but he's going to try and turn it around. Look at the healing from that flip they made of the Mistcraft, desperately running away from that ghoulish wife of Yorick.
Yeah, still haven't given her name. But yeah, she definitely is causing havoc.
Gerda, that's what we're going to name her for today. Her name is Gerda. Or at least this one is. Yorick appears to remarry quite a lot. His wives die quite frequently. Shot in the line of combat. Probably ought to stop. He's probably why he has to dig so many graves. And that's a very morbid thought. So we'll move on from that.
Yeah, and I wonder what the attraction is there as well. That's a very strange one. But
yeah, not here to judge Yorick's particular taste. That wasn't what I was intending in this game. What is important to note though is it's a Mountain Rift and a second Drake over to NSK, who have once again started off very early. And Ornn is here having a whale of a time versus this Mordekaiser, but the Death Realm is popped. And actually, this Leandri's man is starting to cause a fair amount of damage. Knock up as a huge amount of HP from this Mordekaiser and does get the 1v1 kill. But Hilland is here to turn this around. Flash out of the parallel, the chrono break means that Taui survives 1 versus 1 solo kill for the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I don't know if it's the man. Is it the man? Yes. Okay. So Honk guys is the player this one. I wasn't sure if it was Leandri's the complete time, but yes, definitely doing a lot. But then again, if you have the Abyssal Mask coming through, I wonder if that's a different story. But yeah, good kill, lots of pressure, but another Drake going over. We'll see another Mountain Soul before these teams.
Yes, I completely agree. And actually, that Mordekaiser we were a bit worried about in that 1v1 is proving our fears currently unfounded. Decent CS lead. Has got himself that very nearly the Leandri. He's got the blasting one and the haunting guys at the very least. So that madness passive from that Aladdin will be running well and hot against that Ornn. Looking pretty decent in that mid lane. And Kraft had a couple of decent ganks at the top side. There was that one really bizarre invade early on in the game. But apart from that, been looking pretty good. And the gold, nothing to write home about still.
Yeah, very true. And I just wonder, I also never thought about the Unstoppable from will stop him going into the Death Realm.
Indeed it can.
Slight thing for him. Quite the main reason why you would pick it, but yeah, he's able to pick up that kill. See if he's able to put it to good use. Rift Herald has been taken as well, so 2 Drakes, Rift Herald, very similar start to last game, and the gold lead being with WSL.
Made another mist, summoned again. Wife number 2 here, along with Hillanders and his Echo. But look at the Sejuani who's find a way through an alcove onto the Braum, who's taking a lot of damage. Can he stand behind this Jhin? Just about to survive to the Rift Herald. Summon a Domino goes down to the Ignite, not quite alive enough, and yourself picks up that kill. But the Rift Herald is here to claim first turret for Yorick, and that's a big deal for this split push win condition.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to get anything. Okay, it's a shame that the turret plays just fall in time, but tower for tower, kill I guess. But yeah, as you mentioned, the York split push will be much stronger as he's able to get the gold income. See if they're able to use it.
Just misses out on that Searing Charge knock up onto the pillar, but Victor did manage to knock the eye dead on that Rift Herald before it got a second charge off onto that tier 2. So that was well managed by the Victor, who is behind about 15, 16 CS at this point, but it's a similar amount down towards that bot lane. And while the Stormraze is complete for Gragnos, the far more expensive Essence Reaver has already been completed for the side of Bauer as well. So item parity to an extent, but this Xayah definitely looking pretty scary.
Yeah, but the frontline that she does have, plus even the Victor's gravity field, the chaos, not even
it's a lot of
result,
zone control, right?
Yeah. How much he is able to control this game will definitely be in favour of this compared to the Jhin, who I guess will have. We'll see if that is enough, but a lot of threat coming out with the Sejuani and the Rakan later on in this game.
Indeed, but we have mentioned it and we'll continue to mention it because it's very true. Mental Gord is such a win condition at this point. That first tower goal, that big CS lead he's managed to build up for himself. At some point, that Yorick is going to be pretty unopposed in a side lane.
Yes, very true. As soon as Triforce comes through, maybe even a Spirit Visitor, something like that, it will take at least 2 to kill him.
Yeah, and he's not far off. That Trinity Force just picked up the Stinger, so it'll be next back, and only a couple hundred more gold for that to come through. And I'm sure Ornn will be gratefully upgrading that Trinity Force to the Trinity Fusion.
Very true. And God forbid he ever pick up a Baron.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. Yorick with Baron on top of all that would be pretty terrifying, I think it's fair to say. But speaking of terrifying, Victor's got to be a little bit terrified of the lack of vision he has right now. Does smartly back away that one ward he did have, picked up the incoming 3 members of NSKA.
Yeah, I just wonder, I wonder if it was going to be Jhin face checking up there, but yeah, it's not going to be Curtain Swarm, pardon the pun. We'll see how this top matchup goes. Mordekaiser.
All right, we are seeing pings come out onto this mountain drake that has been spawned, and this is the third drake of the game, and this time WSLG are here and ready to go, but it's Death Realmed to prevent the teleport. But that means it's now a 1v1 with, and it'll be in the top lane of 4v4 in the right. That's a fantastic Core of the Forge shot. Curly slays Rakan and echoes in the backline and gets on top of Victor. The man of science is just another dead person to Echo this time, but that's huge damage coming in from the Xayah, who pulls the feathers back, and this rogue is running rampant. Curly going to fall down, burns the stopwatch, but for naught. Triple kill to the Xayah, who is off to the races. And when she goes back, we'll have the biggest pot of gold to be spending. Jin throws out the curtain goal, going to try and dissuade people. Craft forced back, and maybe that prevents the dragon take, actually.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's going to try and... Okay, no, I was going to say, I wonder if he tried to aim for the Xayah rather than this one, but nope, not gonna happen. And
while that was happening, it looks like Mental God did win the 1v1, but Drake secured in the end by the side of WSLG.
I just wonder though if it's going to be a scary situation. They get the first two Drakes, his first three, and unable to get any more. I wonder if that is playing on their mind, thinking every time we try and go for the Drake, we end up bloody losing it. So it could be a different challenge there. It's not Sejuani, it's Craft that's picking up the kills, it's not Talia, but instead it's the Xayah, which is much more scary prospect.
She's going to back with 3 kills worth of gold to her name, picks up boots and a BF sword all in one back, so she's pretty damn scary right now. If she wasn't already beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, IE of course is still a little bit away. But,
there'll be another 3 kills worth of gold before she gets anywhere near that one.
Yeah, but you know, Sejuani will need that, and she'll be durable enough. Foreseeable future, especially for Bauer's damage to come through. So I wonder how much that Yorick TP could have played the different fight, but
well, yeah, Mental God, it was pretty strong. And speaking of pretty strong, that's a Trinity Force and a pickaxe for that champion. As Taui once it goes toe-to-toe with Ornn. But it's a bit of a wet noodle fight, and everyone kind of walks away.
Yeah, now that the Abyssal Boss Tread has come through, I don't think he's going to die soon. And I think that, yeah, it will be Nashor's Tooth, which I actually don't mind in this matchup. More attack speed. I want to keep the passive
Arctic Assault over the wall from Sejuani. Maybe looking for a gank. No, just backs away because she was on a ward, so never mind that one.
Yeah, it's a disappointing end. But
it's a bit of a quieter game at least this time, so we've got a bit of chance to breathe. You even get to speak this game on. Like, how does that feel? Are you sure about what you're doing? I'm aware it's obviously, you know, this vast amount of space is going to be a bit unsettling in this kind of league. But speaking of that, and as I speak about it, I seem to have cursed it because once again Yorick goes in on the Victor.
Well, I mean, yeah, 11 kills, 20 minutes. It does feel a bit weird to have a slow game, but I guess, you know.
This is a slow game. Well, never mind that. Hillanders tries to turn it around, but there are so many feathers on the floor, and that drawback is huge. Byron has to flash away, and Hillanders on such low HP, the Ignite burning down, but I think he'll just about survive. Does, but it's a lot of flashes burned. Echoes is gone, Jin's is gone, Braum's is gone, but only the Rakan's burnt in response. So pretty big win for the side of WSLG. What's not a big win is this fight between the Yorick and the Victor, but it's not a fight between Yorick and Victor anymore because Reinhardt is here, and that is a lot of damage from that. Zhonya's, can the Sejuani get on top? I don't know. When will Arctic Assault be back? Decent slowdown. Can't be slowed down. The cage is just there too late.
This Yorick, I feel like it's going to be a 1v9 game very, very shortly, but yeah, as you mentioned, the flash is burned. You know, it's a very, very good engage, even though it was Highlander who started it, got the further summit with Xayah. And then it just looks to be turned around, and we're at a situation where the Xayah is just so much stronger. She is up 1,400 gold, so it is effectively that BF sword. Jin's got one way to go. Echo has, you know, a few items to get. Ornn love to get that Sunfire cape coming through, and they just have to show a little bit more patience.
Yeah, of course, that's very much true. And I've also got to potentially call out some of that vision control at Mental God at this point. Desperate to be able to get beyond the river and start pushing, but that means that Curly, that Hillanders, that Byron need to find their way into whatever side of the jungle that Yorick is trying to push sort of past. and offer him some vision to be able to do that safely, because otherwise he's going to consistently have a Sejuani, a Rakan up there to turn his 1v1s into 3v1s.
Yeah, and it's just, as you mentioned, it's just how they're going to play around it. What communication is he saying? Like, is he, communicating that he needs to be facilitated for, that he needs vision, that I need to be able to push? That's what my champion does. Now that Mordekaiser can match up, and it is quite smart. They don't just leave the Victor there all the time. They will, put the Victor down bot against the Ornn to wave clear, which she's a death ray. Mordekaiser could potentially 1-1 this Mordekaiser, but yeah, those ghouls just smacking
so
away.
Obnoxious. So obnoxious.
Oh, it's so frustrating to look at, honestly.
Just like watching, it's like it's like Resident Evil, the character up here.
Oh.
Just like Mordekaiser's just swatting away these sort of random Gribblies coming out of nowhere to attack him. But speaking of that, we've got a Call of the Forge God that kind of goes nowhere. Just a zoning ultimate is what we'll call that one. But what might not be a zoning ultimate will be the Glacial Prisoners yet to be used, and this parallel convergence has gone down. Stunned up is Kraft.
Okay.
That's a decent gravity field that stuns Byron in the backline. And the quickness is
Good
there.
turn.
The flash forward from Bauer with a huge pullback and gets to the gym, but now kind of out of nowhere, and Echo shuts down the Zaya.
Ooh.
And actually, this is going pretty well for the side of NSK. Curly cannot be killed, and Mental Gourd this time gets the TP off, and this is a team fight win for the side of NSKA. 4-4-1, and Curly claims the last one.
Yeah, what a fight. I mean, I thought that was going to look really bad for a second. They took Ragnos out really early in that fight.
It might not be over yet, because Kraft is here to try and steal it. Can he get it? Oh, no! Echoes gets it and gets the kill as well. Team fight ace.
Is that Baron?
The Drake over, and I think it might well be. Look at those death timers. 33 seconds on Sejuani, who went for that Mountain Drake rather than resetting and may have given the opposing team the Baron. Last game, it was Jinx stepping forward to try and get their hands on that mid-tier 1 and trading their life, and in the end, giving a Baron away to the opposing team. This time, it's Sejuani daring to try and steal a dragon that wasn't all that important, and this time may cost the side of WSLG the Baron.
Yeah, that's a Trinity Fusion coming through as well. 2 items for the spikes are now there. I wonder if they're going to be able to get them in time. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Zion are coming over. Maybe a potential Death Ray steal. I doubt it, but uses that a bit early.
And
Nope,
Baron is claimed. That's it. Looking more and more like an NSKA favoured game. They're up about 2,500 gold. They've got a Baron and they've got a Yorick who's just picked up a Sterak's. And as you said, that Trinity Fusion. But
yeah,
we can't forget that WSLG do scale pretty well. That Zaya is still very strong, has an Infinity Edge and 4 kills to her name. Mordekaiser scaling as he does. Victor scaling as he does. Sejuani hardly a slouch in the late game as well. So may not be all over yet, but I'm going to give the advantage over to NSKA, at least for the moment.
Yeah, especially with the Baron and the Yorick. How much pressure is he going to be able to force? Has that ultimate right now. 2 of them running away very quickly, like, okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, like, it's never really a 1v1 with Yorick because his Maiden in the Mist always there and available to even up those fights. Backed away has Sejuani, and Mental Gourd is looking very hungrily at this Mictor, who is 2 levels down on him.
He's trying to run him down. Also has to help with his teammates coming around as well, but yeah, looking like a snack.
Well, I think he is the highest level in the game at this point. Who stands up to this Mordekaiser? Oh, not Mordekaiser. Yorick, rather. Mordekaiser can stand aside as far as that Yorick is concerned.
Oh, that tower. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah.
Shovels are good at both digging graves and destroying buildings, it turns out.
Yeah, well, good at destroying all round, and yeah, I mean, even if this Jhin starts to get online, if he gets the IE coming through, that gets upgraded, that's a bit more damage as well, and yeah, 2-level lead as well for the Ornn. He's level 15 too, so both side laners really just doing the work for NSK right now.
4-2-4 is Curly on this Ornn. Actually, played that last team fight around the Dragon really, really well, but Hellender's on a ward. Thinks he's being sneaky with that parallel convergence, but is actually just playing out a little song and dance for the side of WSLG. What is not a song and dance is these ghouls jumping onto Victor and chunking him for half of his health. That is disgusting.
That's not fun to look at. But, you know, the thing is...
The horror show continues.
Yep, I really did say that once they got the Baron, it's going to be quite scary, but it looks like it's going to be a...
Howie might have greeted for the tower this time around, but the death roll prevents the R2 from coming through. And maybe Mordekaiser has found himself a 1v1 he wants, but no, that's 274 gold over to Curly, and 1 and 3 is this Mordekaiser.
What's it with people trying to play Trick 2G? Like, they just really want these towers, don't they? They're willing to die for it, the commitment's there.
But are any of these people playing Udyr? I don't think so. So why on earth do you think you can trick 2G? Come on, at least pick the right champion for the game. Or at least give me a Tryndamere, man. Don't do it this way.
Yeah, we need an Nasus, we need a Tryndamere, we need something like that, you know. It's Jinxies and Mordekaiser's taking towers, nah.
Did you do yourself a favour of watching that HLE game where, I want to say it was Cuvée picked up the Tryndamere top lane with everyone else running heals? Basically, the idea being that it just like permanently healed Tryndamere as he sort of like death push to the side lane.
Yeah, I know of the game. I didn't watch it.
It was pretty much what we just witnessed, where Tryndamere would try to push and then die, and then the game kind of fell apart, and Tryndamere couldn't push at all. So actually, I say that maybe we want to see a Tryndamere, and I'm not entirely sure it would have made all that much difference.
I mean, this game, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe, you know, get more AD. They already have Sejuani and Victor for magic damage, but yeah, if this Mountain Soul goes over to NSK, I really struggle to see this Victor doing any sort of damage.
How on earth do you get through the Yorick at that point with a Sterak's and the healing from the Maiden of the Mist and the shield from the Mountain Soul coming through? Could very well be all she wrote. Byron has to flash away though from some well-placed feathers and a death scrap. Mordekaiser not entirely without threat, even if he is 1 and 3. But Mental Gourd is here, level 16, and that means this Maiden in the Mist is at her max ranks. Incoming call of the Forge God, and that's a huge knock. What kind of do he's just deleted? Doesn't get to do anything. The Chaos Storm is there, and they're all fighting. Byron goes down, and Towi's got a shield. But look at Hillinder, don't get shut down, but gets the Zyre at least in trade. And that's basically everybody running away. By Sejuani, the last surviving member of a dead team.
Yeah, well, and that's going to be. I wonder. I don't think it's going to be game though. They're chasing rather than okay, they're going to go for the Drake now. But I just wonder if that's going to be okay. It's going to be the ace, but I don't think they can push. No waves are quite ready really, so just going to be the soul.
Maybe Yorick can get towards that mid tier 2, and they are at least going to claim Mountain Soul from it, which is a pretty big win.
Yeah, considering the last game it was so close, they are able to claim it, and Ornn and Braum and Yorick with the soul. Oh, that's rough. That's really rough. Oh, I just noticed also Victor's went Iceborne Gauntlet.
Oh, he has. It's that is an old school build for Victor top. Works really well with the Siphon Power, but I'd forgotten that was even a thing.
I mean, you just have to go EP, to be honest. I mean, Mordekaiser wasn't off. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. Jin's going to have a fun time at least, with the front line. Mordekaiser probably won't be able to ult him, and then he just has Xayah to really worry about, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see if he can make it work, but definitely an older style build.
Well, either way, a couple bad team fights for the side of WSLG have put them in a 5,000 gold deficit, which NSKA are currently in possession of. And the Baron is up, and they're basically going to try and make sure that there is no way in hell that Kraft can even possibly get in there. Blast Cone is popped, but there is an Arctic Assault available, and Vision is also available with the Pink Wards over the back of the pit, currently not cleared up. No, going to pull away from the Baron are NSKA, not willing to sort of like throw it to the 50-50.
But the thing is, Yorick is in position. If Yorick is on that tier 2 tower, you are going to start forcing. You're going to have to force either, they have to come to you, they have to fight the 5v4, or they have to send a member to that bottom. But with him being barely past the tier 1, his own tier 1, there's no pressure really. Now Victor's going to stroll over, he has access to TP. Wow. And, even if they get the Victor's TP, Mordekaiser still has it. So playing this dance isn't really going to work when you have double TP. And yeah, it looks like they're going to try now. But
well, here we go again. Yorick has TP, leaving Victor to clear up that wave on the other side. Gonna try and draw that TP away. Bauer gets knocked up by the tentacle from behind the Baron pit. Baron down about half HP. Sejuani is in position, but is also on a ward. The teleport now burned by Yorick. They are looking for the fight. Victor's not there right now. He's not even started channeling. The Call of Force God is here. Sejuani's here, but Echo has claimed it. No steal available, and Sejuani's going to go down. And Yorick is there in the backline, but so is Echo. And this Xayah does get the shutdown. That is clutch.
Oh.
And it's not done yet. The death grab does pull people away, but in comes the curtain call. Good night, sweet prince. The death realm is here, and I think Metal Golem's quite happy to take this 1v1. But the Maiden of the Mist is not actually in there with him, and that means that maybe Taui can win this one. No, because Yorick is a champion.
Yeah, I mean, 3 level leads and the item advantage, that was very, very close. For having no, I mean, he did have no magic, to be fair. But yeah, I just wonder how much they're going to be able to get off. Victor was pushing that time, but he's going to have to come back.
Decent route again from Bauer, who's done their very best to keep themselves in this game. 5-3-3 has 3 crit items online. This Xayah could turn the game around yet, but for now it is a broken base and a top lane inhibitor down.
Yeah, and I just wonder if that is the final nail on the call, especially from the Yorick. We'll see if they're able to now push his mid, push him bot, get the 4 and split going. They have the Baron.
How on earth do you deal with that, Yorick?
You don't, that's the thing. If he gets any sort of magic resist, nobody does. That was close. Okay, he's going to go for Death Stance instead. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, Elder is up in 2 minutes. Potentially that could be the last sort of fight WSL can have. But apart from that, it is definitely NSK's game to lose.
Yeah, and actually that Yorick is 5-2-6. That Echo is 6-3-5. That Ornn. Blessed Ornn, they're at 5-2-9, and so very, very strong. And Jhin has himself a Molten Edge, courtesy of the Ornn shop. Looking pretty strong as well. So, I mean, I am getting quite nervous. Yes, the Xayah is strong. Yes, Sejuani has some tanky items, but this Mordekaiser is a little anemic still. At least he's got 2 items. And this Victor is got a bit of an odd build that you were calling out with, gone towards that glacial, frozen,
Iceborne Gauntlet, yeah.
The Iceborne Gauntlet, Glacial Augment is what I'm thinking of, which is completely wrong. And of course it turns into Frozen Fist, because I was thinking Ornn items, and it's not that either. So I ended up, we're nowhere near the, in fact, Iceborne Gauntlet, what its actual name was.
I mean, he's going for a very bruiserish build, and I understand that. But at this point, your team needs damage. That's the thing. You don't, you're not there to soak the enemy who are behind, and it doesn't matter because they can't kill you. Like, you need to do damage right now. You need to get that Chaos Storm on top of that Jhin. You need to be causing problems. But going Iceborne Gauntlet, it's just not.
Yeah, Sejuani is just pinging the Elder Dragon spawn that will be less than a minute away, and they are right to be nervous about that. You know, Mordekaiser at least claims a Tira in the top side, but that Elder Drake may be their salvation. That might be the only way they can keep back in this game. And all those feathers that got pulled through Ornn didn't even break the Mountain Drake shield. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah, that's it's pretty scary. But Yorick is now, okay, I was going to say, I wonder where to push that bot lane, but looks like they might reset now. Drake is up in, looks like 20, yet just under 20 seconds now. It's definitely make or break time. We're going to most likely see wins this game off this.
Well, don't know. The side of WSLG are here to contest. They're going to be in position, but NSK are ready and waiting. And look at that bush. That is a very strong Yorick with all the items he could possibly want, ready to show that Yorick can in fact team fight as well as split push. Incoming Glacial Prison does land onto the Yorick though. Maybe this is the turnaround, but Wakan is stunned up in the backside, and Curly is on a rampage. And it's 2 kills to none so far, but Xayah is free-firing in the backline. And Taui is strong on this Mordekaiser. Slays the Echo, brings him into the death row, but now Bauer is running away from the curtain call. And it is 2 kills to that Yorick. Flashing forward is this Sejuani, but it's going to get taken down as well. It's all she wrote for the side of WSLG. Mordekaiser, the Iron Revenant, the lone survivor, desperate to survive the onslaught of ghouls following him away. We saw how it went in the last game. It was so close until it wasn't. It's the same in this game. The Nexus Towers are done. WSLG are done. A natural summoned Killers Academy. Even the series up 1-1.
Yeah, fantastic game. Great turnaround. especially when they're actually able to take the Mountain Soul this time. Queen fights, get the Baron, push. This York is unanswered and definitely going to be a contention for Game 3. I wonder if they're going to have anything to answer it to pick up again. The Ornn, obviously, I'm not sure who is going to be blue and red side for Game 3, but the Ornn definitely has to be something that is potentially banned away.
And that is a murderous amount of damage from that Yorick. Double, nearly, well, like about 10,000 damage higher than anybody else in the game. Just huge stuff. We were a bit worried when we saw that draft, right? That actually the standard WSLG draft with that Victor ability to scale into the Ornn was going to be very scary. But in the end, it was the Victor versus the Yorick. And the Yorick just put the game on his back and ran away with it. And, you know, full credit to NSKA, who come up with a win here.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, all the confidence there, obviously, you know, we've seen the subs put up a very good, put up a very, very good fight with the change in roster, and now that they have everyone back in.
Well, well, that's how it's gone so far, and now it is a 1-for-1, and it means it's one last game for all the marbles. Stick around, and we'll bring that game to you very shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this deciding game between this clash of the first and second place teams. And it has been a bit of a clash of titans. It's been really tight in the early games into one mistake kind of snowballing out of control. This time around, we'll see how it goes. It's one best of one, really, for all the marbles. It's what it's going to boil down to. How are you feeling about the last one here, Demo?
Well, Echo banned away already, so not going to
yeah.
have the same success on banned away. Okay, we're already seeing Game 2 adaptations coming into Game 3 draft. And yeah, I just wonder if the Unique might see a ban. I don't know. It depends. I mean, they might think, okay, we messed up, but yeah, the lane swap didn't really work. The build pass were a bit off. But
Lucian taken off the board here as well. We have mentioned before that, Mental Gord, that Gragnos both like to play that one, and Jack's taken away from Toei as well.
Okay. Set isn't banned so far. She's
Yeah, that's
banned. Those are a couple of things that might be tweaked. First pick over to WSL, so obviously the Orn getting taken. I understand that.
Do they ban the Yorick? That's what I really want to see. Are they going to let Mental Gord get that? Yeah, no, there we go. Just off the board. Don't want to deal with that anymore.
Okay. Well,
in fairness, Mental Gord was pretty nuts on that.
Well, we've got 4 top lane bans, I guess. In this case, we're in Evolution, so 4 bans top.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Misfortune taken off the board as well.
Okay. Yeah, they don't want that. I just wonder what is the first pick. Is it going to be something like Kaiser again? Is it going to be a Sejuani? Is it Talia again?
I mean, I would have thought something like Aphelios, but I'm not sure either of these AD carries really play it. And instead, we see the Xayah first pick over here for Bauer.
Yeah, it did work last game. It did work.
But good damage.
If other areas of the team slightly more in the game, that could have been a very different Xayah performance and resulted in maybe a win. But yeah, we'll see if it forces the Rakan. If they're obviously okay, we now. Okay, so yeah, if they're just going to run the same, thinking okay, we don't care about Rakan, we have a prom again. You take what you want, and we'll see if they prioritize ADC or jungler here. I just wonder if Hilander's thinking that could take maybe a Shyvana or something.
Considering that we've already seen the likes of the WSLG here already pick up their AD carry, you probably don't have to hide it, but instead they go towards the Mordekaiser here. Take that away from the likes of Towie, who played the last time, to middling success. It wasn't all that impactful in the last game.
Okay, yeah, and should see a slight adaptation here. I mean, Xayah's going to be very, very hard to kill if she has a Thresh-Land. And there we go. And yeah, I just wanted to respond.
Yourself played a pretty good Thresh in the first game as well. Some pretty clutch flays in particular stick out in my mind. So we'll be running that this time again. So I'm pretty content to see that pick back up for the side of Ward Save Live Green.
Yeah, and I just wonder if it's going to be a jungle pick here. If they're thinking, okay, we take jungle, we force theirs. Oh, okay, it's just going to be the Shen. Right. Okay,
interesting pick, and of course, just that element, that sort of stand united is such a powerful tool. Nymera always responds to this as baby's first macro champion, and there is something to that, right? That you can just sort of turn up at other points of the map and change the balance of numbers on kind of a win.
That quote. That quote is fantastic.
Steal it, use it, take it with love. He's not here to stop you.
It makes sense though. It's kind of like Orianna. A first big team fight that press on 3,000 EO shockwave. It does make sense.
The Pharrell Lord shockwave from all those years ago, still echoing to these days. Caitlyn was the last pick up for the side of NSKA before they started going through to these bans, and Sejuani was their first ban in the second round. Kraft had a pretty good Sejuani game, I suppose. Managed to get some fairly impressive ganks off. It didn't really get them a lead, though, sadly. Elise taken off the board as well.
It's interesting. I'm okay. Helander, yes, yeah. I completely forgot about that pick, actually. Okay, so they're not even going to put it in the first three. They are taking away. The Azir wasn't even banned last game.
What it does say, right, is that with Mental Gord, of course, who was wanting to play the split push champion, something like an Elise that can just hard force on something like a top lane, can do the dives. I could definitely see that being an option there. And into something like a Shen as well, the fact that a lot of your damage is in your abilities rather than your auto attacks means you can ignore his Spirit's Refuge. The Azir is banned, though, because, of course, you called it out. Curly loves that champion.
Yeah, and I know Shen's strength, surprisingly, people think like, oh, he just builds tank, but I've seen like Wits End, Titanic Hydra, and
yes, cylinders. There we go. The very sad cursed Murray is going to be running in the jungle, we assume.
Well, he's seen a buff. He has seen a buff.
He has. They had to hotfix nerf him, didn't they? Because it was a little bit strong.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's a fix on him. Yeah, I think it was his. I don't know if it was his Q or his R they hotfixed after.
I believe it was the Q, the bandage toss, but someone will have to correct me there. So if I am wrong, I apologise, and I'll find out probably post-game.
Okay. Tristana mid, okay.
Interesting pick.
It's not a bad playing pick, it's not terrible.
I've seen one of the combos we have seen a little bit of is Tristana with a Karthus jungle. So Tristana goes in and gets people down to about a quarter HP, can't finish off the kill, but if you are running Karthus with the Requiem coming down at the end of it, you can't escape that, and you can get some pretty nasty combo kills between those two champions. But instead, will be the Diana jungle. I'm assuming that's jungle. It's not going to be a Shen or anything, is it? Surely the Diana jungle.
No, yeah. I mean, Diana did get buffed in the jungle. The 100%, 150% passive damage on a W to monsters. I guess that would, of course, help. Okay, this would be very, very spicy in response to the Tristana. So what amount of damage?
Yeah, and of course, if you get in close with those distortions, you can't rocket jump to break the tether necessarily. So could be pretty scary for this Tristana if she manages her distances wrong. But double ignite mid lane as well. They're both looking for those kills. And considering how bloody the last two games have been, I am expecting that mid lane to be pretty high on all the stats, whether that kills, deaths, and assists.
Yeah, no TPs again for mids back to game one. And yeah, we'll see. It's a very different style of team now. You've got picks from the Thresh, the Shen ult to support his team. Diana's similar to the Mental Atelier, wants to sort of get on the map early, can gank a lot of damage. And yeah, I mean, Mumu is definitely going to bring a lot of spice. Can interrupt dashes as well, I believe, in Ultimate. So we'll see if that plays a part. I think Diana's counts as a dash. Pretty sure. I'm not sure.
We'll find out, I suppose. I believe it's a dash, but we'll find out. I'm not quite sure. I'm the play-by-play here, man. I can't help you.
Definitely Shen. I know that for definitely will stop Shen. But yeah, I mean, if any attention is given towards this mid lane, and Tristana that gets turret place, or LeBlanc gets roll and a couple of kills and starts to roll, it's going to be so team to deal with it. Yeah, it's very, very scary. So I'm hoping a lot of mid lane action.
Yeah, of course. And Sejuani's off the board, but Amumu is on it, and that means we could see some fairly impressive engages all the same. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, especially on team wise, so you can lock up so many members for the Mordekaiser, Caitlyn to get the traps down, for the LeBlanc to get the distortions. It's very, very scary, and you said before, like sometimes picks can be can put you off guard if you've not practiced against it. You kind of forget what it does in a sense, how much damage it does. We've seen it Yorick last game. This game it'll be the Mumu. And we'll just see how much it'll catch them off guard.
Yeah, but of course, Kraft is on more of a carry jungler again, and considering his first game on that Tillia, I'm kind of happy to see that. So, I mean, his Sejuani game was pretty good, but moving back towards something with a little bit more of a carry threat. I mean, hell, he was the highest level on the game as a jungler, and you just don't see that in Season 10, really. So, that says a lot
Very
about
true.
the potential carry power of this player. And Diana can definitely do that. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do on that champion as well.
Yeah, very true. And that's the thing, when you are level 16 to 15, you find 200 CS, 25 minutes or whatever. If Diana does the same thing, then it's very, very scary for Caitlyn. And how durable she is. She's going to spike a lot earlier. She doesn't need 3,200 gold if I get for Wooden's Echo. Runic Echoes is cheaper, so she will spike with damage a lot earlier. And, when you compare that with the damage of a Tristana, with the setup of a Shen, it can be very, very scary. But also, the other side, Tristana doesn't have cleanse, there's no way out, really, if she's locked up by a Mumu and LeBlanc, and it's a very scary duo.
And we'll have to buffer that rocket jump exceptionally well, or could be in for a lot of trouble. I also kind of want to highlight that bot lane as well. I think, the Braum slow and the sheer range on Caitlyn mean that you can stack up Braum's passive on that pretty swiftly, or at least with a fairly ridiculous range. So while there is a lantern, of course, to keep Xayah safe, it's still going to have to be a touch wary of the early level pressure from that duo, I imagine.
Yeah. And I just wondered, if Thresh does happen to get himself caught out, as you say, the Braum passive into a trap can beat a damage. And also, I just wonder who's going to. I had Luke tell me before. Should he enjoy the shout? He was talking about Jarvan. You may as well go full tank because the utility is you're always going to you can jump in. But if a Mumu decides to go for AP heavy route, could he be one shot instead of he'd be the one getting one shot? We'll have to wait and see, but it would be very, very fun. Seeing a Runic Echoes I'd like to see that.
And it is Surprise Party Amumu, possibly the saddest Amumu skin of all. That splash always gets me. Look at that poor little cake yodel stuck outside while everyone else is having fun. I always knew Order of the Banana Soraka was actually a monster, and that image always proves it to me.
I never noticed that before, actually.
Have you not? It's just it's the same skin line, I believe.
That is terrible. Oh,
it is.
That's shocking.
I know. Real disappointment. Soraka's supposed to be this healer, and that was a pretty serious burn she put onto Amumu, or rather not, because that candle was put out. Pretty sad, really. It's the Dragon Tamer Tristana skin as well, which has that most horrific death animation. Watching that little dragon snuffle up to breaks my heart. Just like Tristana dead on the ground with the dragon no.
I don't want to see that this game.
We'll find out. Maybe is that immediately gives our bias towards NSKA as the Mordekaiser goes for the biggest riff on that guitar, swinging the axe both in multiple senses of that word.
You could find all these skins as well in the right shop.
Indeed, yeah. Let's plug the game. We're looking at a 5-man stack here as WSLG are finding a pretty sneaky way into this bush. This Mordekaiser might have more of a party than he was expecting. It's a mosh pit. Level 1 has to flash out. Didn't want to get involved in that one.
Yep, good flash. It was just aware. Just wasn't window shopping, but then again, that is a potential opportunity for Kraft now to get up there. One taunt into the Diana. Obviously, he'd fall with that E. She gets a reset. Very, very scary for Mordekaiser. Has to play safe now. Doesn't have the easiest time shoving.
No.
Doesn't really want to just stand and auto attack. Loves using his abilities, especially with no mana cost. And we'll see if it costs him up.
Well, we'll find out. Diana looking at that lane very hungrily now. And of course, that wasn't at the cost of any early jungle camp starts, but a ward was placed on the red buff by the side of who was it by? I think probably by the Braum, by the looks of it. I can't see because I've not put up the scoreboard yet. And now I can. So that's better. Braum had put down that early ward down there. And it means that Diana's going to start over here. Kraft is on vision though.
Yeah, I'm started as 10, and we haven't seen any Darius jungle, Talon jungle, Zed jungle.
Have you seen their win rates? They are abysmal. They're all about 35%. They are utterly atrocious.
I'm glad.
There was a Reddit post about a week or two ago which basically said, despite the play rate, about 35 to 37% win rate for most of those champions. It's pretty
for this particular set of games, I'll do see them, but solo queue, no, I don't use picking champions. But Mordekaiser does still go damage level 1.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, throws up that all those obliterates, sticks that whirling death around him, and he starts doing some pretty decent damage. Bauer, though, takes a Winter's Bite, and if we force back from this wave, we did kind of warn about that early pressure from the side of a Caitlyn Braum lane.
Yeah, indeed. And good CS lead for mid as well. Full health, not being contested level 2. The distortion from LeBlanc with the sigil does a lot of damage with that electrocute, but yeah, farming pretty safely. Once again,
I'm kind of interested to see how this game plays out in some ways, because of course the other two games were so bloody, but now with everything on the table, do you think things are going to be a little slower? I guess with a Caitlyn lane, potentially not. But then again, there's also an Amumu who will kind of want level 6 before he's truly engaged in anything. And another good Death's Grasp pulls that Shen in, and I am Towie already at half HP, and without potions, going to feel a little bit sad up here. Craft is here, and that taunt is through. Mental Gord is here, and the Spirit's Refuge meant that those auto attacks mean nothing. Mental Gord, flash, he's gone. First blood over to the Lunari there. Diana picking up first blood very gleefully.
Yep, well, we called it, no flash. That's you. She gets to reset with the E. And yeah, I was going to...
Caitlyn past the Braum. Good stuff at the stand beside me. And the Ignite is going to force away the side of WSLG's bot lane.
So much damage.
Nice hook from yourself either way.
Yeah, able to, bend it like it was wanted. And just sadly can't do anything more with it. The Ignite comes down, but...
Another hook and a play as well. Yourself having a couple really nice touches there. Forcing an no summoners out, but I mean, I suppose there is the Ignite down in that previous trade, and has got potions to burn. But you'll take those hooks when and if you can get them.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, before, it seems to have started off the same with fights happening top and bot, but yeah,
fight in the mid, but that's a decent damage chunk onto the LeBlanc, but incoming Mumu damping forward. I'm not sure about that one, Chewy, but actually, of course, does get back to his tower. But we've got the Lantern gank in the bot lane, and it's a flash from yourself that doesn't quite land the hook. And of course, with the flash burn for Tristana as well, not looking so strong there. But LeBlanc actually also burned her summons in trade, so for now, just summoner trades across the board.
Yeah, but Kardachu won't be too disappointed with that. He is up in farm, he does keep the Ignite for the next trade, but it's always so frustrating when LeBlanc's passive does pop and you're not able to really get the last hits down. And yeah, with that gank there, you thought maybe there could be potential, but I mean, I feel like it's 6 if that was to happen. That's just a dead truce, but again, pulling him back in. So much damage from Conqueror as well, it's just as that tone. Very scary for Shen.
Indeed it is. It's going to be a little bit difficult to call in some ways. There's Mordekaiser's landing so many Death's Grasps as well that all of the sort of the taunts just aren't working as the usual escape method. You kind of called it earlier that you can interrupt those guys, and that's another one that lands. The Obliterates down, the Darkness Rises comes up, and Mordekaiser just wins another trade. Yeah, he's got the death down, so he's died the one time, but is up 10, 15 CS, has got the level lead, or just about got the experience lead rather. And continuing to look pretty scary in this lane.
Yeah, exactly. If your Shen is having to taunt away, you're doing the lane right, and it will just force Diana to be up top lane again to try and relieve this pressure. But look at the bot right now. I don't know if she'll be able to get much done, but looks like they're going to back off and get the BF buys and resets, and Diana just wasting her time.
Well, she's potentially heading towards this Ocean Drake. Actually sees the back from the bot lane and decides now is the time to go sneak an early Drake. Of course, that's kind of been NSKA's kind of modus operandi for the last couple games. They really focused on those early objectives. This time around, though, it seems that Ward Save Live Green will be attempting to take a page out of their book. Amumu's kind of knows what's going on, though, and has just been taken by a death sentence, but that's kind of that end of that.
Yeah, but it is good. The bot lane's just back. Diana is on the bot side of the map and able to pick up that first streak, and we'll see if it's going to be. And yeah, we'll see if it's going to be okay. So it's not going to be Mountain Soul this game. So that is a change.
It won't be a Mountain Soul. I mean, I'm kind of happy for that in some ways, because last time it just meant that Yorick was just no one could touch him. It was a bit obnoxious. On the other side, though, the Shen is down 20 CS, but just as a baseline of utility, that Stand United is such a strong ability, and level 6 does finally have access to it. But I suspect the Mordekaiser will be able to cancel that as another engage happens in the bot lane. Winter's Bite lands and the frozen in place is Bauer, and that's going to be kill over to the Caitlyn.
There we go.
Clean stuff from the bot lane.
Yeah, and not able to use the R, just TP back to the lane. Not able to use the Stand United with Mordekaiser in his face to get the kill with the Thresh being there to help him. And it was a good punish and a good kill, and that will definitely help the confidence in the early game with a 700 gold lead as well.
Found the engage before level 6 was hit, meant there was no Featherstorm available, and Caitlyn and Braum punished. Just good stuff.
Yeah.
We kind of call this lane as a potential kill lane in some way, just because of that sort of range at which you can find those kills, and it certainly pales out this time around. Once again, Mordekaiser and Shen dueling it up, much to Shen's dismay.
Every single time.
Just
go back
can't
to
avoid
that
these
lane.
death grasp. Just can't avoid the death grasp. It's a pause instead. Top DC.
I was going to say, yeah.
We were wondering maybe why that Shen was kind of struggling with avoiding some of those death grasps. If he's running on some tricky ping and some DC problems, that might explain it.
Yeah, because every time the camera pans up, it's like, oh, he's getting hit with the E. I think almost every single one has been hit, but I mean, it looks like, I never noticed this until now, it looks like Xayah is going to be going for a potential gank in the top lane as the Rift Herald swap comes in. So we'll see how that one pays out.
Well, we've seen how Mental God plays these games, and namely that is, I will push up beyond the river however many people turn up. So there's no real surprise about where he's standing. And kind of as a result, he has left himself open to ganks. It costs NSKA first blood as Diana and Kraft piloting that champion came up and ganked that flashless Mordekaiser. And Xayah's here to silence him once again, potentially. But have to be very careful ganking Mordekaiser, right? There's the Death Realm available, and that's always a real risk.
Yeah, and also Xayah doesn't have access to the Featherstorm either, so there's not really...
No summoners either. Is she sure about walking up?
Well, yeah, exactly. Gonna have to wait because Diana isn't there yet. Neither is Thresh. So yeah,
games on pause. We'll find out. The taunt's gone through. Xayah's here, just waiting to see if they can get Mental God to lower the HP. Throwing some stuff there, but the Death Realm is in, and Taui is about to die. A horrible, horrible death. No death trap there. Oh, is that another DC? You wonder, but it doesn't matter for now because Bauer is here. But it's a 3-level advantage, and Mental God is well willing to get the double kill there. But Yourself is here, so is Kraft. Yeah, they'll get it back, but it will still be a 2-for-1 in the end. Shut down for the Diana, though. But massive trade onto Wakata in the mid lane as the Distort, the Sigil, and the Chain all land.
Yeah, that is the pressure that LeBlanc sits on that last chapter, forces just down into the Hex Drinker, but I mean, the Rallies force is going to be even more oppressive. But it just means that Rift Herald swap, you literally just mentioned, like, can she go for that trade? And the answer is no. Both of them will die. They get the 2 tower plates for free, they don't get held, and they're going to have to walk bot lane with the feathers between their legs rather than the tail, it would seem.
That's a good question. How many Vestians do you reckon, like as a percentage, actually have tails? Like, I'm not even sure. Like, I don't know what the family tree is. Like, there is somewhere like this tree of Vestians that Riot has drawn up, but right now there's a trade in mid lane. So this kind of random sort of meandering through the lore will have to wait till later, because that was a lot of damage from Tristana, repaying the favor LeBlanc gave her earlier. Had to flash even.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage Tristana can put down, and it just shows you
going in on the Tristana. That's a Stand United behind Banshee. LeBlanc's just gone. What? She's just dead. She dived in to die, and so is Amumu. Surprise! Dead is what's going on.
My God, I guess that was a really good flash, but yeah, that was so strange. I just obviously not thinking of the Stand United, but the ultimate was available, hadn't been used. And yeah, advantage gone. You think, okay, well, LeBlanc's starting to win that lane. The little strap was coming through, forcing the Hex Drinker. Ends up getting a kill, and yeah, turned around.
Yeah, and once again, it's Kraft off to a really good early start. 3-0-0 again on these carry champions.
Yeah, and just look at that CS lead, though. It's almost 40 at the top lane. That is getting very rough.
Yeah. And as a result, we're seeing a 700 gold lead and a Shen that is probably more like a shh, because the rest of that champion just isn't present, and it's really quiet up there.
Oh, that was brilliant. Haven't done. That's off.
There you go. It's all right. It's probably a bit loud because Mordekaiser on that lead guitar is drowning out all the opposition. Heed
Nope.
ye well, all other band members. The lead guitarist is always the most important. And in this case, it's very true here as well. Pentakill lives on, and Mordekaiser having a bit of a solo lane, just a solo on the guitar as well, because Shen definitely isn't present right now.
Yes, very difficult. And he's not going to burn his TP to capital lane, so
No.
potentially maybe using that for the next Drake, which will mean more tower damage and more of a CS difference for the Mordekaiser. But
Good hook onto this Caitlyn. Nice stuff doing. Kraft is here as well. This Diana is ungodly strong. Diving in. Have they got the Lunar Rushes used? And look at those damage. The Moonsilver Blaze just putting out so much damage. One last Crescent Strike should do it. Yep. Double kill for this Caitlyn, who is 5-0-0. We're going to see a Mordekaiser versus Caitlyn carry battle, I feel.
yeah, and honestly, I do fancy WSL as long as the Shen keep him in the side lane, force him away from these team fights, and
Hook on to this Tristana, but does manage to buffer the rocket jump, and that shot backwards there does enough to keep her alive. Doesn't have to burn any summoners, and actually it's a big cooldown burn for the Amumu.
Yeah, you said, is he going to be able to buffer these cooldowns, and he gets out of the ult, bursts the shots to the Blanc away, and yeah, he gets out of that scot-free. Yeah, we'll just have to see if Diana can match the guys.
Well, yeah, and of course, we've been memeing a little bit on this Shen, but frankly, as long as he survives and comes in with these Stand United, and actually so strong, and actually that's a good bandage toss onto Kraft. This Diana's about to get shut down. Diana picks up all that gold, and that is a huge pickup. And the Mountain Drake now secured for the red team, an Infernal Rift. All the damage, all the time, and nowhere to hide in these jungles. Vision control is so much weirder when all these wards go down, when all these bushes aren't available.
Yeah, and plus Caitlyn getting that shut down, plus having nearly does have a 20 CS until this wave's going to crash in as well. It's Rift Herald 2 is looking very, very good for NSK so far, and see if they can keep up this tempo.
Yeah, with their Mordekaiser well and truly online, with this Caitlyn with all that gold now in her back pocket. Looking a little bit scary for Ward Safe Live Green, but Kraft once again is disgustingly strong. We've said it before. And actually Wakada Chewy is looking pretty good on this Tristana too. Looking towards the Blade of the Ruin King, has got that Hex Drink complete we already talked about. So, it's not like they're out of options yet. But Zaya's kind of a little bit behind, died 3 times already. And this Shen, as we said, is really struggling up against that Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you are, 0-3, top struggling, AD carry struggling, it's going to be very, very tough. Side laning, trying to use the Shen utility, trying to use Radiant Guy for DPS. Now he's going to use the Rift Herald top tower. It looks like it's going to... Okay, that's...
And Shen avoids the Death Grasp, but not the Death Realm. And I think this is where you're going to end up for the foreseeable future, my friend. Shen just survives, though, and shows me I have to eat my word as Wakada Chewy is here to make the Iron Revenant pay. But no, Mental God is so damn strong. But this Diana has so much damage. The Lunar Fall is huge.
Okay, well, 7-1-1 now. Even the Shen picks up himself a kill. I thought that was a bit odd. They stayed a bit too long. I think they should have. They could have just got the tower. They didn't need to force like that. They felt like they could, but yeah, Shen buys enough time, has enough magic resist, and yeah, I mean, even when you're triple magic damage on the top side of the map and you're against a Shen or against double treads plus the Hex Drink, it's going to be very, very difficult to cut through these champions even at early stages. So yeah, they have to be very careful.
Is this Diana as well?
Yeah, that Proto Belt's going to be coming in soon, and Caitlyn has to worry. You just thought it was going really smoothly, and I'm just surprised they didn't use that Herald bot lane. I can see why they use it to push the lead, but with your Caitlyn the spot ahead, yeah, I'm just surprised they didn't try and push Baron's lead a bit more.
Yeah, and I've got to be a bit careful because I said Lunarfall and really it's Moonfall. I've got to be careful with my synonyms for the moon in all its glory. But it's fine. I'm sure Diana would appreciate that, wax poetic about the moon.
True, very true. But I don't think NSK are appreciating right now.
No, they are not. That Diana is pretty strong, to be completely honest. And back to having a bounty as well, having been shut down only recently in a taunt onto Mental Sword. And I Am Taui is trying to return the earlier favors he was paid in this lane. Mental Gore desperately trying to run away, and Kraft is once again on a killing spree. Luna Rush picks up that last kill, and this Diana is not just off to the races, she's winning it with about 3 horses to her name.
Well, the scary thing is she's also sitting on 2.7 thousand gold. So...
Oh my days. Yeah, that's... yeah.
Yeah, so
that's quite a lot, isn't it?
It's pretty scary. So that's going to be Pro Belt plus whatever you want, really. Probably going to
Lichbane, maybe?
Yeah, potentially.
With those passive cleaves?
Yeah, it could go.
I'm not entirely
sure.
Go
Nashers, Death Cap,
Nashers would be a good one. Yeah. You're so fair, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Nashers, not Nashers, a Death Cap in fairness.
Yeah, I mean, you could also just go the safe option, get the Void Staff, make sure you can always cut through the MMA. Mordekaiser, but I doubt it. There is... Okay, so yeah, I mean, that could be Zonias, that could be Nashers.
Yeah. I'd be very happy with that. I could see the Zonias being quite a good one at the minute, especially if she is looking to dive really aggressively with the Shen on top of her. Looks like she's kind of the primary engage in some ways, trying to get that massive Moonfall proc to gain everybody, to sort of gather everyone together as kind of like alongside a Shen talk being really the only major forms of engage outside of, an opportunistic death sentence from Thresh.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, how much can they do to stop this damage from Diana coming through? How much is a redemption? How much is it going to be? A Banshee's Veil, a Hex Drinker, like, she is the quill win condition right now. So it's just on NSK to be able to make sure they are well prepared for this carry. And we'll see if
but yourself's gone very deep for this.
Diana.
Look where Diana is, and she's found her way onto that Caitlyn. But the stun is there from the Brawn passive, and so is LeBlanc. But the Lantern is from miles away, and that Dark Passage was huge, gets her out alive. But it's a blue buff Contessa. No one actually died in all of that exchange. But Shen is here with the Standing United. Proto bets forward, but no. Blue buff, I believe, was secured by NSKA. But the Infernal Drake has spawned, and their health bars mean that they have priority over this Drake, and it is going to be secured by the side of Ward Save Life 3.
Yeah, well, no TP available for the Mordekaiser. It was a very, very safe fight to take. Very surprised that with the TP being down, that they went for that sort of commitment to have more side lane. Also, not able to stop the Shen with the Death Grasp or the Death Realm either. So it's a bit of an odd decision. And
I mean, on the plus for NSKA, they did at least pick up that top tier 2. The split push game from Mental Gore as prevalent as ever. And they'll have to see whether this Mordekaiser could continue to be a win condition. Is pretty damn strong. Literally double the CS now with Shen, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty scary right now. But also it's pretty scary is how far behind the LeBlanc is. I know it's only 19 minutes. It's only, but you really want to start getting
death sentence just wide again.
Oh, I was gonna say,
but not shy is this Luna Rush, and this Diana is on a rampage. 9-1-1, so ready to run over this game. Hello darkness, my old friend. The moon is rising once again. Tristada is here with all the explosive to throw a little fireworks show in that nice night sky as well. 12-6 are the kills in favor of WSLG, even if the gold is currently in the favor of NSKA. But I wonder for how much longer, with 2 of their members dead. I'm not sure they can hold on to this. And the death sentence is onto the Death Realm wielder of Mordekaiser. But for now, the mid tower does stand, and I need to stop being so hyped.
No, not at all. Should you gotta do it. You gotta do it. But yeah, once again, another win for WSLG. It's a shame that Keaton thinks she can just...
Big draw in on Kraft, who gets shut down, and that's a lot of gold onto this LeBlanc. And Taui now desperately running away. It's a good chain in the back as well. Double kill for LeBlanc, but nice feathers force people to retreat because the health bars are low enough. They can get really punched, but then goes triple kill for the LeBlanc. Flash for that one.
Well, I was just saying that, she wants to pick up some items, and when you have 1,700 gold in your back pocket, and a Baron has just spawned.
Well. I know.
Yeah, that's honestly, I have to say that this team has the most opportunistic fights I've ever seen. Every single time they fight, if they know it or not, they're always around an objective after the winner first. It's crazy how many times.
Well, it turns out the dawn follows just after night, and that Diana went a little bit deep there. Greeded for the tower, got caught out, got stunned up and blown up, and she is so much of their damage. Wakanda Chewy caught out once again. So much stuff, but the Shen is here, but I think it might just be the waiting arms of Hillanders. And this more of the guys who are so strong. But look at the Diana, and that's a huge moonfall. She's got 1v5. There's so much damage. Can she get it? Gets a double kill, which does finally fall. But Bauer is here with a lot of feathers, but there's a huge amount of tankiness. And Mental God with his indestructible is an absolute tank. The obliterates are huge. And actually, the root is there, but the Death Grasp is bigger, and Death's calling for the side of this Xayah, you think, but actually, Mental Board now very low, and Xayah about to actually die to LeBlanc. Maybe you can face off the Iron Revenant, but the Black Rose is always a little trickier. Claims the kill there, and this game that was looking like WSLG were about to take it over has been turned around, and NSKA have a Baron and a Mordekaiser who's more than willing to carry with it.
Well, yeah, the LeBlanc now is looking to go towards... Please don't finish Morello. Please, please, please. Please, you need a...
Look, you're definitely named in the same manner as LS, because I bet you that Demo actually stands for dislikes Morellos. That's actually what your name stands for.
Like, you see the MR in enemy team, right? You know, you've got the Hex Drinker. There's the adaptive hit. Like, just build a void. You're so strong. I promise you, you are. You'll cut through the MR. He's probably just seen Faker do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He's like, you know, I mean, it's Faker, right? But like, you know, I guess it doesn't matter too much, but it might.
Well,
would
you rather be looking towards something like a void staff? I mean, it still could be a void staff from that blasting wand, I suppose.
It could.
And I have hope. Hope.
But, you know, also the Mordekaiser, when he is, you know, nearly 4,000 ahead. 80 carry, you know, nearly 3,000 ahead. It's looking pretty grim. And that's what I was saying, you know, now the gargoyles. Okay.
No, never mind. That one I was thinking of maybe. I always assume in this particular league that any hook is a fight. It's like there's like a 15% chance, if that it's not. But the Infernal Drake is started, and I imagine that this will be a contest because Kraft is disgustingly strong still. Got the Lunar Rush, but it's now in the Death Realm, and actually has to throw that Zhonya's, and the red team secure it. And that means Hillanders throws down a pretty damn good Curse of the Sad Mummy in the backline, and Taui gets slain as well, and that means it is a 2-3 rather for none. And actually the bandage tosses are huge. Double kill with those tears. Amumu crying no more. Those are tears of happiness, my friend.
He tried
That's a
to
team
save
fight
his
ace.
teammate. He tried to save his teammate. I will tank the Caitlyn up for you, but yeah, it's not going to be the case. I wonder if they're going to be up in time. I mean, they might just go for the inhibit and be reset. They do have lots of gold again, 1,300, 1,600, so maybe they will reset after the inhibitor. They also need to push after this inhibitor. They leave the inhib open. That's a lot of free gold, or don't do anything on the map, so we'll see if they're able to push.
Well, Kraft has got strength and pretty available to go in. The move was there, but no HP. Went so aggressively, and Gragnos just destroyed her. That Caitlyn is a true sniper at this point as well. The 2 items complete. Her first shot with a Storm Razor energized bullet is going to really sting.
Yeah, and you know, 11-5 now, it's getting pretty desperate. Like, he's the only carrying the team right now. Like, everyone else is behind. I mean, okay, Tristana's not too bad, but you know, it seems like he's forcing just far too hard, and it's really costing the team right now.
But I've got to ask that question: who else can force? Like you are so strong, and no one. But the Shen has to. The Shen is coming in on the back of the Diana. Like, we saw it there. The Stand United was burned. She got blown up before he could even come through.
Yeah, and they can't exactly hope for a thresh. It's really difficult right now. You know, you got to. The perfect setup is obviously Diana comes in, Shen on top, gets the shield, they pop somebody. But you know, when you have Spirit Visage now, Hex Drinker, you know, double Stone Plate, Unfortunate Morel on LeBlanc, you know, when you've got all these items, you know, it's going to make Diana.
Your namesake, indeed.
Diana's job's going to be or harder now to try and
Also,
punish.
I have got to call out Bauer. He's 0-6-4 and exceptionally anemic. Level 11. It's the same level as the bloody Braum. Like,
Yeah.
this Xayah is nothing in this game. Just cannot put out consistent damage. And again, we're talking about how the Caitlyn is looking pretty damn strong. Like, that's what? An Infinity Edge and a Caulfields? Like, and a Cloak. That's what you've got for a Xayah right now. Like, this Xayah is so far away from being relevant.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, Bauer's performance in the first and second game was really good. Even the loss was still performing very, very well in the tie. It's just a shame that this game has been the Amumu's paid dividends with the ultimate, and obviously we know Mordekaiser's strength. And even though LeBlanc coming back, picking up a triple kill, and we see we're just trying to share his sadness with Shen, who will, I presume, happily share it at the moment. But there's a good.
Yeah. Not sure he wanted that hook, and Bauer is very lucky not to be taken for a trip to the Death Realm there.
Yeah, I thought Curly was showing why LeBlanc is so strong, but
what she wasn't so
okay.
lucky to avoid was an ace in the hole.
Ow.
And that hole is pretty much all of Xayah's abdomen, you imagine, because that hurt.
Yeah,
Ow.
I thought yourself was gonna tank that, but I guess he can, firmly say you'll tank that yourself.
He's a better version of yourself. He's the version 2, you understand, and that means he's an improvement over everyone else, and that means that he's more important. So why would he tank it? That's how
Apparently
it works.
so.
Yeah.
Baron uncontested, probably going to be the 1-4 now coming in.
Yeah, and this is looking more and more like game over. I think NSKA might be handing the wards that have saved so many lives. Will not be able to save their own this time around, and it will be their first loss in the season. On the horizon, on the back of a very strong Mordekaiser, on the back of a LeBlanc that picked up that triple kill in the mid lane, on the back of a Caitlyn that has far too many items and all the damage, and this time Bauer can't avoid the damage, and that Amumu ult was huge. On a killing spree is the Amumu, and Wakanda is trying desperately in the back to survive this Mordekaiser. Rocket jumping in the death row, but I don't think it's a double kill for this Amumu, and this Tristana is not long for the world either. And that, I feel, is GG. It's just this Diana, who is strong, who does have a needlessly large rod, but it's picked up by a bandage toss. It's got to Zhonya's far too early. Maybe we'll pick up the picks up the LeBlanc. It's got some damage, but no HP. The Triumph healing, though, it's a triple kill. Can they survive? No, it's not. It's a double kill because Byron actually killed that. I was getting too excited. I thought the Diana had it, but no, in the end, it is a 2-for-1 victory for the side of Natural Summoned Killers Academy, bringing low the first place team, and now they are even in the match, in those game scores, both being 3-1.
Well, all I can say is if there was a best of 5, I would love to be casting him. I'd try and be the person. Yeah, fantastic series. Both teams having their moments. Diana, you think maybe can carry that in the end. The power of the Mordekaiser, the power of the Caitlyn was just too strong for them. Well-deserved win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking over the sort of stats now, and Braum did more damage than Shen did. Like, that's a bit sad. Like, the Diana, put up some decent damage number, but that Mordekaiser, once again, ruling supreme in the realm of death. Massive damage from Mental Gord, who's had a couple games in a row there where he was really, really powerful. Yeah,
and just a great turnaround. It was looking, pretty shaky. You thought, how are they going to bounce back in game 3? Thinking if they start losing Drakes again, can't find the fights. Diana's popping the Caitlyn. Yeah, they found that a great fight in the mid lane. They never looked back, and they're just very, very good at snowballing through objectives, and that is something they can continue to do throughout the season.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. So from myself, Initialize, and my co-caster, Dislikes Morellos, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you around very soon.
See you guys.
Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one I can't live without you. I can't breathe without your love. Without you.